afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. Number 1 Ohio State faces number 2 Indiana in the Big Ten Championship game Saturday in Indianapolis. Catch the fans' 11 hours of pregame coverage starting at 9 a.m. with kickoff at 8 p.m. In recruiting, the nation's top receiver, Chris Henry Jr., will announce his signing at 12:10 on ESPN's Pat McAfee Show. He's Ohio State's lone unsigned commit. Other Big Ten news, Penn State is focusing on Iowa State's head coach Matt Campbell to be its next head coach. The Massillon native has spent 10 seasons in Ames. Soccer, the 2026 World Cup draw will begin momentarily, with 4 groups of 12 being finalized from Washington, D.C. High school football, second quarter from Canton. Glenville leads Shelby 16-7 in the Division IV state title. This update sponsored by Roosters. For every $50 you spend in Roosters gift cards this holiday season, you'll receive a $10 Roosters bonus buck at Roosters locations or at roosterswings.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office back at Division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going up.
All right, here we go. Into a championship football Friday. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, TLC, and all of you. And we appreciate you. How you feeling, fellas?
Back in the building, feeling good, man. A little frosty out there this morning, but life is good. Life is good. And, yeah, it's always fun when championship weekend is on the horizon. So I can't complain, big dog. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Good.
We're going to kick it off with an announcement here at 12:10. So in about 8 minutes, the 5-star wide receiver, Chris Henry Jr., who had committed to Ohio State, and then when Brian Hartline took the job at South Florida, then he decided to reevaluate, and whether or not he will be lured somewhere else is yet to be seen. You know, there's a couple ways to look at this. One, he's more than entitled to step back and say, all right, things changed. My immediate, assistant coach, the guy that I've been very close with, the guy that has helped guide all these players into the NFL, is not going to be there. So that changes the equation for me a little bit. What doesn't change is the quarterback and the fact that it's Ohio State. So if he was drawn to Ohio State, and we wouldn't know this, a lot of guys need it all. They need everything to stay the same because the money really didn't go anywhere. Like, none of that changed, and if it did change, it only got better.
Right.
Like, so, right. And I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that he would have said, okay, Ohio State, now that Brian Hartline left, Oregon called and they beat your offer by this much.
Yeah, Uncle
so
Phil
now you
out
have
there.
to match or beat that.
Gotta
So
watch him.
Yeah, so that's something I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
but I just feel like if you're connected to Ohio State and you know the tradition and the history, but then you could go with, well, Hartline had a lot to do with that. So I'm a little bit in doubt, but I would definitely lean Ohio State. And then the one thing I would ask you is this. You think that before he does this live on the McAfee Show, that he would call the school and the coach that he is going to and saying, this is what I'm planning to do. I wanted to tell you first that I'll be there, whoever do you think, or does he want the school that he's going to also be tuned into this?
I think it's the former more than the latter.
He would call
I
them.
think he's gave a ring to Dan Lanning or Coach Day or whoever, and Lincoln Riley, because that's been the reported 3 teams that he's been kind of working his way through post the Heartline announcement. And so, I think you nailed it. When something like that happens and your position coach, a guy that you're going to be with a lot every single day, takes a head coaching job elsewhere, you got to zoom out for a second and recalibrate and just think about everything that's in play. Mentioned this the other day. His sister is on the Buckeye basketball team here. And so there's got to be some comfort in knowing that there's some family here as well him that can, maybe calm some of the nerves or whatever it may be that he's feeling. So, he's a tremendous talent. There's a reason why he's one of the top playmakers in this entire class. And I think at the end of the day, you can trust that, yes, while Hartline's not here, Coach Day, his offense as a whole has been highly productive year in and year out, and specifically at that position. So that's what I think he may lean into, is the comfort of knowing that this guy that's the head honcho of this program right now is one of the best in the sport, and no doubt one of the best when it comes to that side of the ball.
It's a little different, Maddie, in trying to relate to this as just a regular civilian, right? Like if you had a job offer, if you had a couple different job offers in different areas of the country, and the guy or girl that's hiring you, you had a great feeling about, and that was kind of a good thing. Your immediate supervisor would be this person if you went to work for X company, and then that person right before you were going to commit to going, this isn't 2023 when he committed, like 2.5 years ago. We're talking about right now. And if that person were to leave, it doesn't change technically your job of what you do there. You'd be in the same position for the same company, in the same place you would go to. Yet the person that maybe believed in you the most
ain't there.
Or the person that you thought you'd be guided by, trained by, coached by, like that immediate person would not be there. So you do question a little bit about whether that is it's certainly the X factor. The other thing that should give Buckeye fans, maybe a good feeling is that he's already been committed here for 2.5 years. He shut down his commitment in the spring. And what I said earlier, I think counts, which is it only probably increased what you could have gotten here outside of Heartline, which we cannot clone right now. So you're kind of in a waiting game here with whether how much was he weighing. Like I said earlier, the deal financially probably didn't change, or maybe only got better. It's the coaching part of it that we have no clue how much that weighed for him in his original commitment to Ohio State.
What's interesting, too, and kind of zooming out from Chris Henry and staying in kind of the recruiting world, is the whole Legend Bay situation is it's honestly sad. Some of the stuff that's been out there about how this kid has now committed to Tennessee, but it seems like that's not where he wants to be. I mean, it feels like this is a parent in the situation that's really kind of forcing this kid's hand, because he sent out a message on social media the other day saying, "Good afternoon. I was just recently logged out of my IG and probably will be logged out of this account as well by my older brother, who has access to my account because I won't sign to the school him and my mother want me to go to." Like, that's awful, man. Like, that's not what this is supposed to be about. We've seen recruiting videos of guys making announcements and parents behind them being disappointed, but the forcing of this kid's hand, that's very unfortunate. And so we'll see if that stays, that he absolutely is going to go down to Tennessee. But the Legend Bay thing, AR, is something to monitor as well, because it sounds like he's a big-time playmaker that wants to be in Columbus and doesn't want to go to Knoxville to play.
What's new to me on all this is that you could have that highly rated of a guy who would not have control over his own Instagram account. Like in this era where the family would have passwords to lock you out. Like a guy that big would be beholden to, like it's almost like, you get invited out with your buddies or whatever in high school. I'm sorry, Mom said I can't go. Like, I just didn't know that existed anymore amongst guys of this level, because most parents would want their child to go somewhere that they feel most comfortable, that for them, for the kid, I mean, not like you want him to feel good. Yeah. And the fact that he's now publicly shaming his own family makes it very sad, like you said originally, and maybe there'll be enough public pressure off that tweet of his family that
Yeah.
maybe it would reverse itself.
Maybe so, and people are kind of locking in on, well, he's not 18 yet, so when he does turn 18, does that change things when he can make his own decisions? So just something to monitor. I don't know, but it's one of the wilder recruiting stories that's out there, and I know when you had the Caden Dixon-Wyatt decommitment, and then Legend Bay goes to Tennessee, and then the Chris Henry Jr. thing's been floating, in the air over the last 2 to 3 days. Buckeye fans have been looking at the Heartline subtraction from the equation and saying, what the heck's going on here? But it does feel to me that 2 of the 3 want to be here, because I think Chris Henry Jr. is going to come to Ohio State, and we'll see if Legend Bay can wiggle his way out of Knoxville, maybe come up to Columbus and be in Buckeye, because it really feels like that's where he wants to be.
So he's got 2 outs, right? Because if he flips and goes to Oregon, and if people accuse that of the Phil Knight thing, that's fine. But you could always say it was Heartline. Like, he could always say that. Like, he doesn't have to, like, that would be the big X factor and all that. And if he stays committed to Ohio State, then he says it's a great branding for Ohio State, because then it's what Ryan Day said yesterday, and this did not skip anybody, I don't think, that Ohio State's bigger than one man. Mm-hmm. Like that, by the way, if you read into that correctly, that's about recruiting. Mm-hmm. Like, that's exactly what that is.
And it's also, I'm the guy. Like, much respect to Brian Hartline, but I'm Ryan Bleepin' Day, and I'm the head coach at Ohio State.
I used to call plays, too.
And I got confidence in myself that the next wide receiver coach here is going to do some really good things. And I'm reading too much into it, but maybe there's some confidence in the conversation he had with Coach Day, and maybe he does have a feel of who his position coach will be, and maybe that's a bit of the lean that could be coming back towards Ohio State. He's got confidence in the new hire, whoever that may be.
Well, he should. Like, he really should, and I'm not trying to tell him what he should feel, but I feel like it's Ohio State. They're the national champs. They have a conveyor belt of NFL guys. And the counter to that argument is, well, Heartline was the guy that created a lot of that and most of it. But Ohio State is at the top of the mountain right now, maybe about to win another one. Mm-hmm. And coming off just, rewriting the script on their rivalry game. So you couldn't be at a better time for Ohio State to try to keep this kid committed despite losing Brian Hartline.
Yeah,
Brian Hartline was branded very big in the success of all these guys. This wasn't just an Ohio State thing. And to his credit, he got a lot of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Real quick, folks, for the first time since 2020, the Buckeyes are back in the Big Ten Championship game, and the Fan has you covered with 11 hours of pregame coverage this Saturday. 9 a.m. to noon, you'll get Fan Sports Saturday with Tim Hall and Tyvis Powell. Noon to 2:30, you'll get Eric Reeser and Tito. 2:30 to 4:30, it will be the KeyBank Fan pregame show with myself, Dane Sanzenbacher, and Justin Zwick filling in for Depot this week. 4:30 to 6:30, AR will be leading the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate show with Tim May and Dave Biddle. And then 6:30 to 8 p.m., Ohio Sports Network pregame show with Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, and Tyler Danberg. So again, 11 hours of coverage starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here on the Fan.
All right, so we're just getting started. We'll have Howard Griffith on from the Big Ten Network here at 12:30. We'll get into overs and unders, pressure cooker as always. Tim May's headline coming in the bulletin. We'll have Zach Osterman, who covers IU, so we'll break it all down. And then I'm going to make the assumption when we come back, it'll time up pretty well with Chris Henry Jr. and whether he's going to stick with Ohio State or flip. Stay close. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Have you already started your tailgate? Us too. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky's Sawmill Toyota.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth?
What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center,
where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile,
including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
Skyline's Mac and Cheese 3-Way is back, this time with white cheddar cheese and creamy cavatappi pasta. Try a Mac and Cheese 3-Way with Skyline's original chili or their new chicken chili at participating Skyline locations for a limited time.
Toyota-thon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through January 5th, you can get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models. with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get Toyota Care 2 years, no cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Central Ohio's largest selection of lush, live, and cut Christmas trees.
Oakland Nursery.
New holiday accents, personable gifts, seasonal treasures, and delectable foods at our 2 specialty stores.
Oakland Nursery.
Live greenery, wreaths, pine roping, and poinsettias at all 4 garden centers.
Oakland Nursery.
25% weekly savings on select holiday items.
Oakland Nursery.
35 acres of crisp outdoor shopping and a Christmas tradition since 1940.
Oakland Nursery.
I love a good Hollywood casino party. Scotty Vegas here, and there are so many reasons to party on Sunday, December 7th with us. Watch the college football playoff bracket. Come out with us at noon. Watch the Browns, Bengals, and Steelers games all at 1 o'clock with us. Then parlay the great food, huge screens, and best big-time prizes at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're watching. We're watching. Let's watch together. Sunday, December 7th at Hollywood Casino. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time, Sam.
Temperatures are dropping, but the deals are just getting hot.
Time for our annual Ford Holiday Gift Guide.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with great deals on trucks and SUVs from Ford, America's all-time best-selling auto brand.
Don't forget the first rule of holiday gift giving, Hank.
What's that, Sam?
Always remember to treat yourself, too.
Well said.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Jackets hit the road for a battle with the Capitals. Live fan coverage starts Sunday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's a chilly Friday out there as temperatures are warming up through the 20s into the lower 30s here for this afternoon. We'll see a partly cloudy sky with south winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Heading into the weekend, we're tracking cloudy skies and a few flurries around here for Saturday with highs into the upper 20s to lower 30s. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, did you hear the boom during the break? Chris Henry's a Buckeye. That was not me. Here's one of the quotes. First of all, I guess, I don't know if on his mom's side, is there a Polynesian, because he's dressed in all Polynesian gear and they were all covered up. And so there was, just to paint this picture for you, he's sitting in a room with 3 family members, 2 on his left and 1 on his right. And there's a mirror in the background, like a circular mirror. And
we already have the audio if you want it.
Okay, well, real fast.
How's this for a turnaround?
Hang on,
Thank you, Eric Reeser.
Okay, let me set this up real fast. So there's a mirror in the background, and he hasn't made his decision yet. Yet the person in the mirror,
oh no,
it's not an oh no, was wearing scarlet
and
they gave it up. Potentially gray. And so if it was USC, that would have been odd. And if it was Oregon, that would have been odd.
Yeah.
So before he said anything, Maddie and I looked at each other like,
there it is.
Unless someone is completely throwing this the other side, then all right. So let's hear from Chris Henry Jr., who, being committed to Ohio State for 2+ years, decided that was not going to change.
Ultimately, I've been committed to the Buckeyes for a long time, and with Coach Hartline leaving, it really impacted my recruitment heavily, and I really just had to take time to step back and really reevaluate everything, but just sit with my family and taking time to think about it. Ultimately, I'll be committed and staying committed to the Ohio State University. I just feel like they're the right fit for me, and I made my decision a couple of years ago, and it was for the right choice, and it was my time, just taking time to think about it and just step back. Even though Hartline did leave, Ohio State is always been in my heart since I committed, so I'll be staying home at the Ohio State University.
Congrats.
All right, Chris Henry Jr. is a 5-star kid in every rating book there could be.
Mm-hmm. He's
from Santa Ana, Cali. So he's a Cali kid.
He's from Cincinnati. He moved out there later.
Well, he went to Mater Dei, I guess. You're right. He's right. He went to Mater Dei High School. So he was the first commitment for Ohio State in the 26 class. And he committed to Ohio State. Here's the date, July 28th of 2023. So this is
breathe easy, Buckeye
everything you could want. It's 6'5", it's 200 pounds, it's athleticism out the
He's got the genes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, his father passed away years ago, but that's in his DNA. His dad was a talented playmaker, spent some time in Cincinnati and all those things. And so, Buckeye Nation can now take a deep breath, because I know this kind of had everybody on tilt for the last few days, and rightfully so. But it's what he mentioned, and we talked about it. When you lose a guy like Brian Hartline, there's no doubt guys are going to have to take a second to think about it. But the track record that I think Ryan Day has built, that this program has built throughout the years, if you're a young guy, you can trust in that. And it's also Coach Day, and you look around, if you're Chris Henry Jr., yes, you look at next year with Julian Sand and him coming back and how elite he'll probably be in year 2. But it's also some of the other quarterbacks that they have lined up too, whether it's Tavian St. Clair down the road or somebody else. That position seems to be in good hands, and usually is in good hands when you have Coach Day there. So you get everything right when you're Chris Henry outside of Brian Hartline. So I'm sure that'll be an adjustment for him. But I have to, in my mind, Ryan Day has kind of let him know who his wide receiver coach is going to be. And I think maybe that is kind of what pushed this over the top, is to say, okay, that guy, he's got some track record somewhere around either the NFL or college football, and he's done some good things with wide receivers, and I could possibly be the next guy in line he coaches up to a high level.
Yeah, or just within the program, just his security that he has within the program, that this is where I wanted to be. My heart was there the entire time, and Ohio State is not going anywhere as far as their success. It's only getting better. And I think he just believed in where his heart was, that he wanted to stick with that. I'm not saying that Oregon couldn't have swooped in and been an impression on him, because he was in play again. And he put himself in play again by stepping back. And once you do that, it's all fair for anybody to try to swoop in and say, okay, if you're reevaluating, can we have a little bit of your ear again and pitch you again?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that his decision to bring that into the equation, USC and Oregon, was a big deal. And it allowed himself, like I said, he didn't sound like a leverage kid. It didn't sound like that to me, but I wouldn't know that. But he was entitled to step back. This was a big deal. I think maybe years ago, you wouldn't have put this much on a position coach in affecting it to this degree. But I think the Hartline factor is as big as there is anywhere in college football right now.
Yeah, you can't lose a guy that was kind of crowned by everyone as the best at his position at doing something and expect guys to just be like, oh, there's no big deal. He's not there anymore. It'd be like, hey, if I was going to my favorite restaurant for years and years and you're telling me the head chef of that restaurant is no longer there, I'd have to think about it. Are we going to be going there every Friday night for dinner the way that we used to until we find out, hey, the next guy that's going to be in that kitchen is going to cook up some good things? And so that's the belief that I think he has. And next year, man, you look at the possibilities for him as far as playing time goes. Opposite Jeremiah, he's got to be excited about that as well with what he's seen from Carnell and how you can take advantage of the opposite side of Jeremiah when defenses have to focus so much on him. So he'll still be a true freshman at the end of the day. I'm sure he'll have, some bumps in the road as far as him getting to his ceiling as a player. But in time, everybody's telling us that he's going to be another special wide receiver here at Ohio State. So that we shall see in the next couple of years what he can bring to the table.
Lot to live up to.
Yeah.
And they'll have a lot invested in him. And maybe the most important thing for him is that the QB right from the get-go will be this guy. Yep. And that's a huge X factor that's out of the equation for him. So there's your update. Did it live on national TV. Chris Henry Jr. staying with Ohio State. And it's going into a very, very big weekend. And so now they are riding this high of beating Michigan, being the number one team in the country, going to Indy for the first time in a while, and taking on a Indiana team that is still probably in the mode of they have to prove it, that they belong. The way they were blasting teams, the way they did not crumble in 2 games that they could have, on the road, by the way. That wasn't in Bloomington. That was on the road, both in Happy Valley, and I know Penn State's not the same, but that was a big moment. And it wasn't like Penn State was in a prevent defense. They were coming after him. Guys were making all-world catches, whether it was they had, I know obviously Cooper on the sideline or in the back of the end zone was the catch of the year.
Incredible.
It
man.
was.
Yeah.
From the body control to getting in, that was one that they'll look back on and say that was an incredible moment that may, if the Heisman situation, you and I will probably get into this a little later, it's a little odd to me, and I know that stats back this up, on that if it's a tiebreaker, that the team that wins the game, that's where the Heisman would lean. But, boy, it's an individual award. Yeah. And I know that is the leader of the team, the quarterback. So it would mean something, certainly, if that quarterback led their team to a victory. But I think that's the operative phrase. They have to lead it. It can't be, if Ohio State beats Indiana by 14 points and several of the touchdowns are home run runs, then I don't know whether that would be a tiebreaker for saying, and reverse the same thing for Mendoza. If Hemby or Black went off and scored and the stats of both quarterbacks are kind of middling and there's no real clear difference maker, I don't know how you feel about that, but leaning to the side of the team that won in an individual award is weird to me.
It's strange. Like, I could understand if you're a Heisman voter right now and this thing is a little fitty lemon lime with looking at Mendoza and Julian Sand, because you look at all the numbers, they're fairly close on both sides, and both these guys have had their moments. I think, the one for Fernando that you were referencing at Penn State is a big-time moment right there because he had to pull them out of the deep end to glory. And so I love that they're waiting. They have to wait the Heisman. They don't have to, but you have the opportunity as a Heisman voter to wait until after tomorrow to see, which way you want to go, because this is really, really close between these two guys leading two 12-0 teams into a Big Ten championship game. So, yeah, the game itself tomorrow, it should be a fun one. I mean, number 1 versus number 2. The numbers for both teams are absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see what things look like on third down. That should be really fun to watch. When you look at how good Indiana's been on third down, being second in the country there, and conversion rate. And on the flip side of that, Ohio State offensively leads the country in third down conversion rate. So something's got to give in this game tomorrow, and just really good players on both sides of the ball. And this is all you could ask for, right? Both teams come into this thing not with a whole bunch of mental pressure, because we've been saying all week the loser of this game is probably still getting a bye. But just as far as good on good goes, X and O-wise on the field tomorrow, yeah, it's going to be awesome to watch.
Which makes me believe that both teams are allowed now to coach and play incredibly aggressive. Like there's a safety net here in this game.
There is.
Where some coaches would lean conservative. I know the idea is to win the game, and you don't want to do something stupid.
Right.
But I'm saying it allows a coach to say that, and they would never admit it to their own team, that it doesn't matter if we lose this game. They would never admit that. They don't want anybody thinking that. But it does allow you. And if you thought Ohio State was aggressive against Michigan to start the game, I think that's times 10 in this game. I do, especially indoors.
Get him on that track. Looking real quick, AR, that game against Oregon for Indiana, you had 5 guys in that one for Oregon that had some catches that were in the double-digit range. And then the game against Penn State had 4 guys with catches of at least 19 yards. And Trevor Pena hit him up for a 43-yarder. So to your point, you get Tate, Carnell, Jeremiah, Claire on that track tomorrow with Julian's accuracy. Don't be surprised to see them making some chunk plays off.
We'll get the analysis of our guy at the Big Ten Network, Howard Griffith, the former Fighting Illini running back. He'll join us in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, you mind keeping it down up there, please?
KeyBank will meet you in that I need new neighbors moment.
Rick, it's your mortgage loan officer, Beth. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to let you know your home loan application's been approved.
Beth, you're always there for me, and not a moment too soon.
Are your neighbors bowling with grand pianos again?
And apparently raising livestock?
Ew.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 399797.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Saturday night, Indy. That is going to be nuts. Hoosiers play a hoops game in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be rocking.
In Indy.
It'll be rocking.
So the other thing to look at in this game is, and this will be a real X factor for me when we have Zach Osterman on, I'll ask him. And I've been looking at this all season long, is how defenses try to attack Julian Sayin and how much more they have to bring at him to make it even worth it. And then if you don't, and you don't get pressure, and then you're asking your DBs to cover for 15 seconds, like it's crazy.
It is dicey.
And I as much as I watched both these teams, I feel like Indiana, and Brian Haynes is a very good defense coordinator, and they have some dudes that can physically get after a passer.
Mm-hmm.
But Sayin has been kept very clean all year. It's 6 sacks maybe?
Yeah, right.
And so winning in the trenches for the Indiana defense may be the one thing that could change the game. If somehow they can get off the field or get to him without blitzing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do blitz, do they get home or do they get burned? It's really the poison, picking your poison against Ohio State. On the opposite side, we know exactly what teams have to do against Ohio State. They have to be able to run the football. Now, maybe Indiana's different in that way. They did not have their best receiver, Surratt, at Penn State.
Right.
Becker was making those great catches, and then obviously Cooper made the dynamic one in the back of the end zone. The guy that's watched them all is our friend Howard Griffith from the Big Ten Network. Joins us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. All right, Howard, it's good to have you, my man. How you been?
I've been good, man. How you guys doing?
Great. I mean, I think this game certainly, I said it before you came on, that, coaches, they do what they think they should in every game, and a lot of it's situational. But with a safety net of the loser technically knowing they're getting a bye and certainly knowing that they're in the tournament, how much more aggressive does Cignetti or Day become in this one because of that, if any, in your mind?
Yeah. I think it's a fascinating question. I was actually going to ask you guys that same question about the importance of this game, but I think there's a lot of meaning in it for when you think about Indiana and where they are. Yes, they're most likely going to get a bye no matter what happens, as long as the doors don't get blown off. But they're trying to prove something. They want to continue to play at a high level. And I think what's been interesting about this story for the last couple of years is this is an Indiana team that never plays down to the competition. And people talk about the standard being the standard, and they are always playing at that level and that standard, regardless if guys have been injured or not, the backups are playing really well. So I think this is going to still a big-time game. I think it means a lot for Ohio State as well. When you just think about being able to win the Big Ten championship, you want to win every game. If it's a trophy available, you want the trophy. So I think both teams are going to be motivated to go out and give their best.
Howard, what's one of the matchups you can't wait to see unfold in this one? Because on both sides, the numbers are great for both teams, right? Obviously, with the work that they put in all year. But when you look at both teams coming into this one, what is one matchup you're really going to be locked in on tomorrow night?
I got to tell you, it's the Ohio State offensive line versus Indiana's defensive line, one of the most disruptive groups out there. I think this is an Ohio State offensive line that continue to get better throughout the year. I think the fact of the matter is when you look at the way Ohio State plays the game, when you look at it, I mean, you guys know, you look at it on the surface and you say, wow, they've got all of these weapons on the outside. Some big plays are always happening, but you look at the time of possession. To me, that's been important to be able to grind it out and be able to run the football. So for me, it's the D-line is very active and very productive for Indiana going against this Ohio State line that's playing at a very high level and doing a great job of protecting the running game and also the passing game. And I don't think they've nearly got the credit that they probably deserve this year and what they've been able to do.
Howard, you would know this position very well, and it's a change from last year for Indiana when they had Ellison and Lawton, and now Henby and Black, and what they've been able to provide. The Indiana run game, what are you anticipating how that even factors in? Because there's so much attention about Mendoza and the weapons and all that. How much are you putting on Indiana having to run the football tomorrow night to stay in this game?
Yeah, I think they absolutely are going to have to run the ball because they can't turn this into a pass rush drill at all because this is an Ohio State team. And as you guys know, that to me, when I look at this defense, it's about matchups. It's about creating those matchups. So as important as that run game is going to be, pass protection by the backs and also the tight ends are going to be even more important because I believe if you don't know whether it's Reese coming, whether it's Caleb Downs coming off it, you don't know who's coming. And the body type doesn't tell you who's coming either. They can bring guys from all over the place, and they're going to look for those matchups. So I think that you will see Indiana's backs, as I say, be slow to go. They're not going to get out into the route as quickly as probably normally you would see them because they need to make sure that Mendoza's upright to make sure he can make plays down the field.
Zooming out from this one just for a minute because there's just been so much college football news popping off here, especially with the head coaching stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Pat Fitzgerald, Howard, back into the Big Ten, locking in with Michigan State. Do you like that fit for him and them?
Yeah, I think one of the things we're going to find out a lot. You know, Pat Fitzgerald is a well-respected coach among coaches and among fans as well. I think this is going to be interesting, really, to see the staff that he puts together. That's going to be a big part of what they're able to do. But getting him back into college coaching was huge. I think getting Michigan State, making the decision to go with him was important for them, too, because they needed to get things locked down. We got another program that can't quite find the guy that's going to be coaching. And when you look at recruiting and you look at the transfer portal, they're going to have their hands full moving forward.
Does it make sense for Penn State, which is what you definitely were alluding to there? Would it make sense for them, in your mind, to try to keep what they can together by taking the interim Terry Smith and making him the head coach? Or are they at a point now where you would say that is not, we don't need to Band-Aid it, so to speak. We still need the best guy. And would it make sense for them to try to, if they could rescue this with a very proven head coach?
Man, I think it's going to be tough. This is a very tough situation for Penn State and for Penn State fans to look at because, remember, this was a veteran-laden team. And so they're losing guys already, whether it's to the draft or just have exhausted their eligibility. And now when you look at just really what happened from a recruiting standpoint, they're going to have to bring someone in that's going to go heavy into the portal. They really don't have a choice but to be able to do it. You know, I don't know how you say. I like Terry Smith a lot. I think you did a wonderful job of really getting those guys motivated. But it's just hard to say if going with Terry Smith, which I think it would be a great move, particularly at this particular point, where they're trying to go. But this is Man, we haven't seen this. Penn State has done some stuff this year that we haven't seen in college athletics, and it's continuing. So hopefully they can right the ship and find the guy that's going to be a fit for them to get this thing rolling, because it's tough to see just where they are right now compared to where they were, say, 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago. When you look at the roster, when you look obviously at the season, and you look at what happened recruiting Wednesday.
You touched on recruiting. There were some Buckeye fans a little nervous this week, at least until the last 20 minutes when Chris Henry committed to stayed with Ohio State is what I should say. But Howard, I want to ask you about the Brian Hartline part of this. When you found out about that news, what was your knee-jerk reaction to that, and what do you think it's going to mean for the program moving forward?
Well, I'd say this. I think it's a great move for Brian Hartline to be able to get his feet wet. It's the second time around being able to call plays. He's clearly grown from his time, from the first time he was dubbed as the offensive coordinator. So he's grown as a coach. I think the one thing that's always been very clear since he was the interim wide receiver coach, that he was an outstanding coach and outstanding developer of players. You go back to Terry McLaurin and had an opportunity to work with him at the end, but then what he's been able to do in developing guys. And listen, everyone isn't a home run. Every wide receiver that comes into Ohio State's not going to be, the 5-star guy and going to produce like a lot of these first rounders have, but he has done an unbelievable job of really identifying and understanding what these guys need to do to go to the next level. And really quickly, I remember when Ryan Day took over the position as head coach, he talked about then, I want wide receivers that understand route running and understand how to get separation. And to me, Brian Hartline has really elevated that and also took that assignment, took it to heart, and really done a great job of developing players. And I think they're still going to be in a good spot. But it's tough to lose a guy like Brian Hartline, but I'm happy for him to get his head coaching shops going. And I think he's going to do an unbelievable job. And I think in a couple of years, he's going to be one of those names we see coaching one of these big-time programs in college football.
Will the Ohio State-Indiana game be in doubt in the final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter?
I think it'll still be close. I do believe it'll still be close. Okay. Whether it's in doubt, I mean, Ohio State should come out, and we know what they can do. But we also know just what Coach Cinetti has done. This could be one of those games, to me, if the lines of scrimmage and Ohio State plays the way they need to, it probably won't be, right? Because this is a talented team that's been motivated the entire year. And again, that time of possession is to me going to be another one of the major factors in this game. Ohio State's done a great job of controlling the games that way, the way they've called it this year, and they're going to want to do the same thing. They're not all of a sudden going to have an offensive explosion in this game. I expect them to continue to really take their shots when they're available, but dominate and try to dominate in the run game.
Well done, my man. Enjoy it. We'll be watching you. Thanks for this.
All right, guys. Take care. Enjoy the weekend and stay warm. It's freezing here in Chicago.
It's just the beginning, Howard. It's December. It's December. Pace yourself.
I hate it.
I know,
all right, buddy. Take care.
See you later. That's Howard Griffith, Big Ten Network on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. The other one, real quick, one I was going to say or ask him, I'll get your hypothetical reaction on this. When and if, I'll say when and if, Penn State hires Matt Campbell, in your mind, will that have rescued the search to some degree?
He's got enough of the buzz, I think, around his name, and it's had it for years, that he's one of the up-and-coming guys that I think that'll calm the waters just a bit. But I think the report was this is a one-sided thing, that Penn State is interested in him. They haven't started negotiating, right? This is, hey, like, we're letting our fan base know we want to go get this guy.
Our guy, Yahoo Sports has actually been reporting that they are in talks.
Okay, so the back and forth is happening now.
Yeah, it's not a one-way street at this point. We'll keep you updated. Overs and unders into the weekend next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great cars, great deals, Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Columbus. Good. GLakesHyundai.com.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth?
What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center,
where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile,
including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, why should people trust you for their holiday shopping this year?
Family owned and operated for 25 years. We're known for helping guys make great decisions. Unlike me hiring you, Common Man.
You know, I was thinking, I've been a good, clean boy this year. You got anything for me over there?
How about a nice anklet?
Sold! Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
It's the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. So don't just hang your own lights. Look for the northern lights. Drink cocoa on the beach. Or be a drive-by karaoke caroler. Because every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. So you can take holidays to places they've never been with a capable Kia SUV. And right now, get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of specially tagged new 2025 Telluride, Sorrento, and Sportage models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 60 months from Kia Finance. Subject to credit approval for purchase of new 2025 Telluride, Sorrento, and Sportage. $1,705 per month for $1,000 financed at 60 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 1/2/26. Offers may not be combined except where specified. Subject to dealer participation and vehicle availability. See Kia dealer for details.
Ryan Day's Buckeyes head to Indy for a Big Ten title matchup against the Indiana Hoosiers.
Live fan coverage starts Saturday at 2:30 with the Kick at 8.
Turn down the TV and turn us up. The home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, overs and unders. What is the over-under? I'll ask you guys this first. The over-under, if I put it at Saturday at 5 p.m.,
okay,
that Penn State will announce that Matt Campbell is their new head coach.
I will take the under on that.
Before Saturday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that.
What if I changed it to tonight at 7 p.m.?
I would take the over.
Okay.
On that.
So you think it's going to happen sometime? So your window
we have
is
a 22-hour window.
So your window is 7 p.m. to like Saturday afternoon.
I think before Hoosiers and Buckeyes kick that thing off tomorrow,
Penn
I think
State
he'll be
steals
named
the Thunder.
He'll be, and I thought he was going to just stay at Iowa State because he just continued to sign extension after extension and do really good things over there in the Big 12. So yeah, if you're a Penn State fan, if this becomes official, which kind of feels like it will, it's a nice little get for them because there's a lot of people that believe that this guy was in time ready for a big level up, and when you give him more resources and all of those things, that he could do some better things as he's done at Iowa State, and the body of work's already pretty doggone good.
He's an Ohio boy, and
as every football coach ever
that's
is.
right. But he's Mount Union, Bowling Green, all the deals.
He coached at Toledo too.
He did.
Yeah, okay.
He was a position coach at Toledo.
Yeah. Okay.
And then became the head coach, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I think for the people that are saying this is, you spent a lot of money to find James Franklin 2.0. Like, you spent a lot of money doing that, money to send him away and hire this guy. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the change of culture, the change of the stacking up of the close losses, of not being great in top 5 games, like, yes, people are right that Franklin had them at a certain floor that if Matt Campbell doesn't break through that, but if you can promise Penn State fans that this guy would somehow break through one of those and change the culture and get it back to where Penn State goes into a big game thinking that their head coach that they're not going to win in spite of their head coach, because every time they went into a game, it was, okay, they're going to have to overcome their own head coach to win the game. Like, that's the reason why you move on.
Where are you at with your own over-under that you asked me? Because I don't even think, TLC, you didn't answer either. Where are you guys at with that over-under?
The reason I put it where it was exactly, I'm so proud of you because it's exactly what I thought. That somehow...
Very proud of you.
Hang on, let me give Maddie my...
Very proud of you. That's very nice.
I was.
Don't even know what that is. I just know from this show.
It's terrific.
My mom
and that's even better, by the way.
Is that
the point is that it's 1 versus 2 is playing in Indy tomorrow for this conference's championship.
Yeah.
And if Penn State can use some of that feel to announce tomorrow before kickoff that they have a new guy, they're going to get a lot of push from it. Whether it's good,
congrats, you get one segment.
Yeah,
there you go. Have fun. Get one segment
or they
Fox
do it
show
early enough where they get it on game day.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's
I
they've been in the news for all the wrong reasons.
That's not going to consume much of the talk tomorrow, I wouldn't think.
I just think if they're going to do it, you want it before that game. Anyway, take it away, TLC.
Okay. By the way, speaking of Big Ten news, this has nothing to do with anything, but the CEO of Acrisure, not Heinz, but Acrisure, has made a $401 million donation to Michigan State Athletics.
That's ridiculous.
So congrats to Pat Fitzgerald for, failing upwards, I guess.
I don't care how much money you have, AR.
Mm-hmm.
That's a ridiculous amount of money. Like, it's not a waste. It's not a waste. But for
Maddie,
that person individually... You're not, like, what are you getting out of it? You can sit where you want to sit at these games. You can get it. Like, I don't know. When I saw that, I was like, that's absurd. I'm sorry.
When I was about a month ago, remember when I brought to you about the money that people are donating and all that to kids to play football for their university and to feel that, to me, remember when I said if you were one of the grandkids of one of these people, and you saw that your own family member was donating that amount of money
wait a minute.
to a program or a stadium, or now maybe there'd be a little coolness of having, like, quote, your name or something on a building
or court or something,
and then you have the history of that. But, and I don't want to be that guy. I'm not going to say, well, yeah, think about what $400 million could do for a charity or something. But people spend the money the way you see fit. But I agree with you. That's, by the way, where's the extra $1 million? Can't we just do $400 million?
Yeah, what's that about?
Like, why is it 401?
I have no idea.
Is there an item up for bids on The Price is Right?
You know what? This is the
401.
This is the only thing I could think of. Didn't the Ryan family at Northwestern make a $400 million donation and maybe just wanted to beat it by one?
You know what? I love that type of pettiness. I would be here for that type of pettiness.
I could have those details wrong. Maybe it's a $400 million stadium or something like that.
Well, they've given more than that.
Probably.
Their gift was $480.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
So he should have gone 481.
I mean, I was really stretching to come up with any answer to that question.
They've probably been in the billions to Northwestern. Like whenever my dad, speaking of the kids, like when I say to my brother, "Hey, why did Dad write Northwestern another check for whatever?" Or like, you buy the tickets, you go to the games.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I mean, you said
wear
that
the gear.
That
And
family. Go ahead. Sorry, AR.
No, my dad would always say, "Well, they've meant a lot to my achievements in life," and I feel. My brother and I were like, enough with the money to Northwestern. They have plenty.
Correct. Like you just mentioned, that family may have donated maybe $1 billion. Who knows? To Northwestern.
Probably more.
The return on your investment, you're not seeing any of that as far as like on-field stuff. That like you know what I mean? That's
the stadium that they're going to build.
I
no,
guess.
that you will see actually. That they believe that will attract.
But
a lot.
If I had that type of money, I want to start seeing wins.
Well, we also know if you had that kind of money, you wouldn't leave here either.
I'd be here 3 days a week.
That's right.
3 days a week. But I don't care how many billions I have.
Name this the Matty Ice Hayes Studio.
I'm not donating $400 million to a program. That's crazy.
I think I just came up with something. If you win the lottery and you continue to work here, you could leverage this place and say, "I'll give the fan $10 million to name this the Matty Ice Hayes Studio."
Oh, I'm swinging bigger than that.
We just put your name.
We're renaming the station.
Okay.
97.1 The Ice.
96. Yeah. Okay.
Now we're talking.
How much money would you give to get that? Because you're kind of.
If the lottery's $1 billion.
Because if you were playing in the Acrisure game here, let's find out what it means to you.
About $5 million. We'll start there.
$5 million. I don't know if that would get it done.
Well, we'll start there. I got I got hundreds of millions of dollars to go.
You know what's disappointing?
Right. Start low.
What's disappointing is that this is the most excited I've been for an overs and unders. I didn't do a single one.
My bad.
No, it's good.
Yeah, sorry. But
I was BSing around too.
But the Acrisure one launched us into a whole thing. So be proud of that.
During the break, can you look up that guy's net worth?
Greg Williams.
If you had
$2.82 billion.
And you gave up 400.
That's a lot.
But dude, he still got 2.4.
Yeah, but Matty, the money's still printing.
I get it.
Still
but
rolling.
Think about it like this, though. You went from 2.8 to 2.4, but now you have a football team that you can like, and you still got 2.4.
Okay, I guess. It's just absurd to me.
This is one guy.
By the way, there was a development in the crumble cookies thing.
Oh.
With James Franklin?
He denied it?
No, but there's a new context about it.
Ooh, I haven't heard this yet.
Okay, I'll tell you on the other side.
There we go.
We'll do that after a fan sports update, and then the CFP conundrum. And what are they going to do with Notre Dame and Miami, and why it is what it is? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Did you know Byers Airport Subaru is the oldest Subaru retailer in the entire country? And just like a veteran quarterback, we've been delivering winning drives for generations right here by the airport. At Byers, we treat every customer like part of the team because that's what keeps us in the game season after season. From tailgates to road trips, we've got the perfect Subaru to get you there. Kick off your next adventure at ColumbusSubaru.com or visit us by the airport. Byers Auto, driving the next generation of buyers.
They say glory is earned, not given. We say it's ignited by heart and ends with a boom. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
Skyline's Mac and Cheese 3-Way is back. This time with white cheddar cheese and creamy cavatappi pasta. Try a Mac and Cheese 3-Way with Skyline's original chili or their new chicken chili at participating Skyline locations for a limited time.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Have a good day. Stay warm. So my teenage son just went to school in shorts and a hoodie. It's 3 degrees. At least I know he'll be warm in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Ah, you do want the coat.
My phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Toyota Thona's on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota. Now through January 5th, get 2.99 APR financing on remaining new 25 Tacomas. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Or lease a well-equipped 25 Tacoma SR5 for $259 a month, or 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. Chris Henry Jr. is staying home. The nation's top receiver in the 2026 class will officially sign with Ohio State. Henry's signing bolsters the Buckeyes' number 6 recruiting class per 24/7 Sports. Henry's future program squares off against number 2 Indiana in the Big Ten Championship Saturday at 8. Pre-game coverage on the Fan begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. Around the Big Ten, Penn State focusing on Iowa State's head coach Matt Campbell to be its next head coach. The Massillon native has spent 10 seasons in names. Soccer, the 2026 World Cup is underway from Washington, D.C., with 4 groups of 12 being finalized ahead of the tournament, which begins June 11th. NBA tonight, Cardinals host the Spurs. Cavaliers host the Spurs at 7:30. NFL injury news, Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray will not return this season with a foot injury. Washington QB Jaden Daniels will return Sunday. Lions DB Brian Branch tours Achilles per ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up, knuckleheads? You're listening to Rothman and Ice on The Fan. It's not terrible.
Thank you, Chuck. Hour number 2, Rothman and Ice. Pressure cooker coming your way at 117. College football picks will lay out championship weekend. TLC will give you the time channel, bat channel, and menu and all that. So you can decide what you want to watch and when before Ohio State, Indiana. Tim May in the bulletin. I wonder if he went over to Indianapolis today.
You couldn't even get it out.
That was a good natural laugh for you.
It's a hearty laugh.
Thank you. Just drive over to Indy, hang out a little bit, come back for the tailgate show tomorrow, and then go back to Indy tomorrow night.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Wait, what?
Boy, I didn't know where we were going with that.
And if you want some more of that, we'll have Buckeye coverage all day long for you tomorrow because we got 11 hours of pregame coverage right here on The Fan to get you ready for the Big Ten Championship. Fan Sports Saturday starts at 9 a.m. to noon with Tim Hall and Tyvis Powell. Noon to 2:30 will be Eric Reeser and Tito. 2:30 to 4:30, myself, Dane Sanzenbacher, and Justin Zwick. 4:30 to 6:30, Tim May, AR, and Dave Biddle. And then at 6:30 to 8, Ohio State Sports Network pregame show will kick off with Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, and Tyler Danberg. So 11 hours of coverage starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow right here on The Fan.
So when you and I started talking about the college football playoff years ago and when it went from 4 to 12, there are a lot of people that thought, okay, this is going to ruin college football. And clearly we knew people were going to continue to watch. It wasn't going to be one of those where it destroyed it. But I did feel when they went to the committee, I remember doing the show with Bob, and I remember saying, well, here's the good news. The good news is some human being that's in that room is going to have to get in front of a TV camera and tell the world, justify the decision.
Why?
I go, that's pretty cool. I go, that part of it is real. And guess what it's turned into? It really hasn't been real because there's really no science to it. So I can't fault the committee completely because their criteria is always falling back on, well, it's our job to determine who the 12 best teams in the country are. No, your job is to get the 12 most deserving. So when I hear this conversation about best versus most deserving, and I know that's splitting hairs, but my tiebreaker has always been if they're equal, you have to lean to deserving, not best. Eye test and gut and how they're playing, that can't carry the day. Like, to me, if they're equal.
That's close.
Like, if they're equal, and that's all I'm asking for. It's not and then so I was listening to Herbie on Get Up this morning, and Greenberg was asking him about what he thinks they're going to do with Miami and Notre Dame. And Herbie was saying, well, they've got to get into the same cluster first. And I said, and I'm doing exactly what people do to us probably and yell at me on the radio or whatever. And I said, oh, it's a cluster, all right. The whole thing's a cluster because you can't tell me that Notre Dame let me look at this again. Notre Dame at 10 is not in the same cluster as Miami at 12. Now, TLC's point this morning was interesting in that, well, if there are clusters or tiers, if there are, by definition, there has to be a line. Like they can't, and then all be in one pot. Like there has to be a line. So clearly the committee, and they won't say this, Hunter Yurachek, the Arkansas AD, I don't think he has said this before, that, and this would be cool if he did, guys, our line right now is between Notre Dame and Miami, that we have drawn the Sharpie, that they're not there yet. Where do they have to be? And that's why I think it's ridiculous when people say, well, if BYU loses, which they should, and Miami rises one spot, and now they're right next to Notre Dame, that would suddenly tell us that the committee thinks that Miami, now the head-to-head comes into play. I just feel like, wouldn't the head-to-head come into play now? You both have the same resume, or not the same resume, the same record, and I know there's little parts of it that don't make sense, which is you lost to them. Those are good losses. These are bad losses. You have no good wins. They have a good win against you. The hard evidence that they need to break the tie, they already have.
That's the game that we watched between the two teams.
I know it was a long time ago, but
it was
you have
week
it.
one.
But you have it.
No,
though.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
If Notre Dame beat Miami with the same losses that Miami has, what are we saying? Switch resumes. What are we saying? What would they have done? And the reason I ask is the Notre Dame brand carrying the day over Miami. If Notre Dame had beaten Miami, but had the loss to Louisville
and SMU,
do you think Miami's ranked higher than Notre Dame right now?
I don't.
Do you?
Jinx?
No. I think people long-term have been largely convinced that Notre Dame's better. It'd be weird, though, because Marcus Freeman is a bit of a repeat offender with bad losses. And so that would still kind of hang over him because a couple years ago was the Marshall game that they lost. Last year, obviously, Northern Illinois. So it would be like the narrative would almost be like Marcus Freeman can't kick this habit of losing to bad teams. And I wonder how that would factor in. But the eye test comparison has largely favored Notre Dame. And
it was, by the way, it wasn't a blowout. It was a close game.
3-point game.
Yeah.
27-24.
And that game was in
Miami.
In Miami, which
the old adage, you get 3 for being at home.
So the question now is, what can change this if both aren't playing?
Real quick, I want to say this too, AR. We talk now about being in this era of you don't really need as many style points as you used to. I actually think that's helping Notre Dame. Is their game control and the dominance in this run that they've gone on coming out of that Texas A&M loss? Because a lot of the games that they played haven't really been close. So when TLC mentions that they're leaning into the eye test, that is good on Notre Dame to handle business the way that they have. When you beat up on Navy 49-10, Pitt 37-15, Syracuse 70-7.
Let me ask you this,
And
though.
then the last game was 49-20. That, I think, can sway some football people in the room to say, well, yes, we know they lost to Miami, but where they are now, just the football part of it, they're looking like a dominant force coming down the stretch.
Do they have one common opponent?
They have
Pitt?
4.
Oh, they have that many this year?
Yeah, because Notre Dame does like the half ACC schedule.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
they
it's actually
both
funny. 'cause-
cracked Pitt on the road.
Well, that's the thing. Is
Like,
that
they both? So even if you're in the committee room, you're saying, like you just said, well, they beat Pitt on the Notre Dame, beat Pitt on the road. Miami did too.
What was the score for Miami in that one, AR?
Oh, they blasted them. That
Yeah.
wasn't even a game, and it was supposed to be a game. It was 38-7.
Okay, and then Notre
And that
Dame
was
beat Pitt 37-15.
that was the game that Sark just called them out for saying, so are we going to watch games or not? And he didn't say Miami, but he described, because there's a team out there who's up 31-7 throwing for the end zone just to try to confuse the scoreboard. Yeah. And so he's talking about Miami because Miami on the final possession of the game with the game clearly in hand
Committee
was
knows this.
still throwing to the, which is why
they know it.
I agree with what Ice was saying because it was a really good point. He's saying that Notre Dame was just controlling the game, which actually requires you to watch football, because what a lot of people are doing on social media is just screenshotting, oh, Miami beat this team by 1 score more than Notre Dame did. It's not that Notre Dame couldn't, it's just that they didn't. It kind of depends on just when you let your foot up off the gas, when you start running the ball more, when you pull your starters.
That's right.
And
But
so
you don't think the committee, with all the people in that room?
I think that they do,
Yeah.
which is why Notre Dame is above Miami. But just the confusion of it with fans who are like, well, Miami beat North Carolina State by 3 more points than Notre Dame did, so Miami's clearly better. It's like, you think Notre Dame couldn't get 3 more points to make it as an equal differential? Like,
Yeah,
are you kidding?
It's just because I can understand why Miami fans would be very upset about this. Because when you just look at all the kind of analytics, I guess they're looking at AR with strength of schedule. Notre Dame's is 42nd, Miami's 44th.
So equal.
When you look at strength of record, 13th for Notre Dame, 14th for Miami, and then games against teams, I think in the top 25, Notre Dame's 1-2, and Miami's 1-0. And so, well, that can't be right then. What am I? That's not right. That part's not right. But the strength of schedule and the strength of record are really, really close, and you got to split hairs between the two.
It still comes down to Notre Dame is 4 points away from being undefeated, and Miami lost 2 games they shouldn't have in a 3-week period.
They did.
And I think the fact that those 2 losses were close together hurt Miami even more than if they were spread apart, because that's 1 month of football that you play where you're like, we're not even sure if Miami's any good anymore. Now, I mean, they've since corrected that, but that wasn't just a fluky Saturday. That's twice within 3 weeks.
I think that certainly the committee would like to get them both in if they could. They certainly want BYU to lose.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to mess that up.
Right.
Because if BYU wins, then Notre Dame and Miami are both out. And I don't think, I mean, that would make it clean for them too.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have Notre Dame ranked higher than Miami right now, I don't see a real scenario, even though I know maybe we can play this at some point, or Juracek saying that we reserve the right to have this conversation every week, depending on if there's one more data point or something happens that affects or indirectly affects how we view both teams. But they're both locked up now. Like, Miami's 12 and they're 10, and something flipping that would be odd. And if Herbie's correct in that, all it takes is BYU to lose to Miami to start tail grabbing Notre Dame right now and be 1 spot away. and that's all it takes to flip them. That's weird to me. It's not like Miami's like 18.
No.
So they have what every sports fan has always wanted, the hard evidence of we've seen the game. Whenever it was played this year. It's got to count. So whether they lean into what he's saying as a Notre Dame guy, technically, they've got a couple bad losses, and that's not. But the head-to-head, you think would trump it if they both have the same amount of losses.
You would think.
Notre Dame has 2 very good losses.
Yeah.
One of them is a team they're fighting against.
Said out loud. We're giving teams for good credit for good losses.
There are too many teams in the playoffs. That's the big problem.
Thank you.
Or not enough.
No, AR,
No, not from me. But what I'm saying is if the way to make this real clean is jump right to 16, and then...
But we're going to be having the same arguments at 15 and 16.
Go back to 4.
The closer
They're not going back.
The closer you get to the middle, the more teams there are that are alike.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. Pressure cooker next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Let's see. High school, Buckeyes, Browns, kids in the retention pond. It must be Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Football is good. The Fan.
Toyotathon is on at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. With inventory on the lot and fresh inventory rolling in daily, now is the time to treat yourself before the holidays. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for Toyotathon specials or visit our festive showroom on the corner of Sawmill and 161 in Dublin. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Chronic pain can feel like it's never going to end. But at QC Kinetics here in Columbus, there is a new treatment providing rapid relief. It's called stem wave therapy.
It has fundamentally changed the way I look at cases after 30 years in practice. So when we talk about regenerative medicine, we're talking about these types of devices.
Dr. Tony DeCesaro, one of the nation's authorities on stem wave therapy.
So basically, it's a healing machine. They cause the body to help to heal by increasing blood flow.
This is more than treatment. It's hope.
So this device being a healing device, when I talk to my patients about it, I tell them it's diagnostic and therapeutic. We're going to find out today if it's right for you.
Right now, you can try your first treatment for just $49 and see if StemWave is the right option for you. Only $49, with many patients reporting relief within the next day.
It's about giving hope.
QC Kinetics. Harness the power of StemWave and get relief now. Call for your consultation here in Columbus. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy High Bank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000. 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Titans live from the land. This game will not live in infamy.
Kickoff comes your way Sunday at 1.
Your radio home of the Browns, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's a chilly Friday across the area as temperatures are warming up through the 20s into the lower 30s here for this afternoon. We'll see a partly cloudy sky with south winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Heading into the weekend, we're tracking cloudy skies here on Saturday and a few flurries possible with highs around the lower 30s. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by 3D Cabinetry. 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability.
All right, the Bry guy listening to the show from Chi-Town.
Oh, what up, Bry?
It's one appearance on the show and suddenly feels like he's a fourth guy on the show. But he said, based on your discussion right now, why is Miami plus 400 to make the playoff? Well, you know what that means? That means TLC is much more relaxed.
Yep.
Because Notre Dame right now to make the playoff is minus 550 and Miami is plus 400.
So they're going to the dance.
So that tells you, and this is what I wrote him back. A, the H2H doesn't matter. So the head-to-head is not coming into play. And it's not because they told us it's not in the rankings. And it's weird to me because the committee can't say that. Like when Reese pressed him, do you have that clip?
I don't. I couldn't
All right,
find
it's okay.
it.
All right.
But
so when Reese pressed him, like I wrote back to my brother, I said, well, that means no way Miami's jumping them with them both being inactive. I don't care what else happens. Here's the difference. The committee can't say that. Like, I don't care how hard Reese presses him. This is a week-to-week thing. He cannot say, first of all, they're not into Las Vegas. So that's my first pressure, is the pressure's on the committee. The pressure's on the committee to justify this. Now, they've already got a built-in justification that Notre Dame's above them. Like, we didn't tell you Miami was better. We've been showing you they're not in our
last
eyes.
few weeks, yeah.
And then the question, the hard pressure will be why. That they're that close to them and you have the hard evidence and you just won't use it. So instead, you're using the subpar losses that Miami has over the head-to-head against the team that you are debating against.
Yep.
And you just won't use it. You've decided that you're going to absolve Notre Dame of the head-to-head loss because that team, after they beat Notre Dame, didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
And I think, too, maybe if you're Marcus Freeman in the gang, you send a little bottle of the bubbly down to Mike Elko and Texas A&M for
a deli tray
for holding on to having a good year because they're getting some credit. I think Notre Dame is for a good loss baked into their resume.
Two of them.
So, yes. So Miami is definitely going to be hollering from the rooftops if it goes that way, and it feels like it's going that way because they're going to be like, we beat these dudes straight up. What else are we supposed to do?
You're kind of toast.
The committee's going to point to what you said, those two losses, and they'll point to how dominant Notre Dame has looked over the last few weeks, and that's what they're going to tell everybody.
They're going to sell that they could flip it to make you feel like there's drama to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they would justify. If you can't justify it now, how are you going to justify it if BYU loses and they just move up one spot? Like, they're close enough.
Yeah.
And to make TLC feel no pressure, even though he's feeling a little bit. So let me plug it in the little AR calculator here.
Okay.
So Notre Dame has I'll round up. They've got an 85% chance, according to Las Vegas, on making the playoff. Where Miami has a 20% chance. So 85%. Las Vegas says Notre Dame's making the playoff, and Miami's at 20%.
I feel good. I think that this is about Reese Davis. I think Reese Davis asked a general question because he thought it would yield a better answer on the air. And then I think he misapplied and misinterpreted the answer that he got to a specific context that didn't fit. He tried to take a very general answer when Juracek said, yes, teams that do not play this weekend can move up or down. I think he was talking about in relation to teams that do play. So, like, you can move up and down based on what Alabama and BYU do. I do not think that applies to Miami and Notre Dame against one another. I don't think that two teams who don't play can be flipping back and forth.
So you're saying the derivative was a little bit off? That there's some sort of nothing that can be quantified to the sensitivity of an input affecting an output. If there is no input.
That was like each word gets like 1/5 of a big word alert.
That's right.
So I'm going to give you like one total for that entire sentence.
Yeah. The Valley Forge Mall is closed. And when it was open, it wasn't on Route 15, it was on Route 3. And there can't be a small spaghetti and wine dealership across from the Cinema Cineplex next to the Singer Sewing Center because there is no Cinema Cineplex and there is no Singer Sewing Center.
What movie?
You'll never get it if I gave you 1,000 guesses.
Oh, my God.
But it had two very famous people in it. How's that for a tease? What?
Heat.
No, it was not in Heat.
Two very famous people.
Maybe the most overrated top 50 movie of all time. All right, so the pressure's on the committee.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
for me. Yeah.
First one for me. You know, AR, if you and I were GM of an NFL franchise and we handed a guy a 5-year, $150 million deal, you'd think, hey, we're going to get some return, some pretty good return on that investment. That hasn't really been the case for TLC's boy, DK Metcalf, because it's been real quiet for DK Metcalf.
I love open mic. Open mic
weeks.
night may be my favorite thing.
DK Metcalf.
Natural reaction from the crowd.
Over the last 5 games has not reached 50 yards in a game. It does not have a touchdown.
Dad, you just jumped the station wagon 50 yards.
A game for 5 straight weeks. The AFC North is going to be fun to watch this weekend. Steelers taking on Baltimore, Bengals taking on the Bills. But DK Metcalf was supposed to be a big-time difference maker, and he hasn't been that guy in over a month. And so you look at where he is right here in his career. This dude is supposed to be in his prime, and they need him this week to pop off and make some big plays. Steelers 2-1 in the division. Ravens 2-1 in the division. Your Cincinnati Bengals, ladies and gentlemen, 3-1 in the AFC North. So you could put pressure on a lot of guys playing in this game. But I'm locking in on DK Metcalf. Big time money they paid him this offseason, and he is not delivering at the moment. So he's on the pressure list this week.
My brother is just, he's taking the bait.
We need to call
He's texting me. No, he's texting me again. He says, Miami at plus 400. What if they do flip it? There's a lot of value there. I'm like, well, wouldn't Las Vegas know? Like, why would Las Vegas want to expose themselves that much by taking all the bets in on Miami? Maddie, the Chiefs are in trouble. That's not new news.
Right.
I'm putting the pressure not on where you think I would. This is not on Patrick Mahomes. It really isn't. He is who he is. He's had an okay year. There's inherent pressure on the quarterback in the NFL. But to me, like, they're 6-6, and Las Vegas has them plus money to make the playoffs. So that means they're less than 50%. Kansas City Chiefs to make the playoffs for you fellow gamblers out there with all 5 of their remaining games. Now, I look at them as they should beat Tennessee. They should beat the Raiders. They get the Chargers, Broncos, and Houston, but they're all at home. So at least they've got nobody to blame but themselves because those games are at home. And they're 1-6 in one-score games this year. You know what they were last year? 11-0. Like, you knew there had to be some regression. Here's the glaring weakness, and to me, it's not the running game. It's not. The Kansas City Chiefs cannot get pressure with 4 guys anymore. I don't know. It's been this way all year. I've watched them. Their inability to generate pressure or get sacks. And under Spags, you can usually rely on this. Whoa, my bad. And in the middle of a thought. That's okay. It's like Tiger Woods' dad, like, when he's at the range, just throwing things at him. I want to be unflappable here. So the glaring weakness to me is that they can't get after the passer, and now Stroud's back. And so I looked this up. The Chiefs have 22 sacks this season. There are only 5 teams that have fewer. Kansas City's averaging less than 2 sacks a game. And for Chris Jones, he's got 3 sacks this season and only 1 in the month of November. Where is the pressure? If they get it, they don't need to be this high-scoring machine anymore. But I think that has put pressure on Mahomes because they can't get after the quarterback, and they're 26th in third down conversion percentage allowed. This is a defense you and I loved last year, and it's not keeping them in games right now. So pressure's on the Kansas City front 4.
Okay. I'm going to the NBA for this one. And I'm putting pressure on the Milwaukee Bucks front office because your nightmare is here. Giannis and his agent, they're ready to get up out of here. They are ready to go. It's been a really good run. You drafted them, developed them, won a championship, all of those things. But there's been breadcrumbs all off season that maybe Giannis is starting to look elsewhere. Is it the Knicks? Does he want to go play with Wemby in San Antonio? Does he want to go to H-Town to be a Rocket? And so you made a weird decision to stretch out Damian Lillard's contract. You're going to be paying him $20 million for the next 4 years, and he's not even going to be on your roster. He is back in Portland. You lose him. You bring in a guy like Miles Turner from Indiana last year, and he's just looked okay. And Giannis is at a point now, AR, where he's had enough. And so this is a big time pressure-packed situation because you have to make sure when you make this trade, because I think they're going to have to make this trade, that it is going to set you up with a great future. And you're going to get a whole bunch of picks, but for me, it's about the right now players you could get in return. So there's a lot of pressure right now on the Milwaukee Bucks front office because seems like that nice little ride that they were having with Giannis is like, get me up out of this car. I'm ready to move on. And so Milwaukee Bucks front office, you're on the pressure list. A lot of heat on you right now to take care of your future up there in Wisconsin.
All right, we'll come back in 2 minutes and lay out championship weekend against the spread. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Timmy Hall and, real common man here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
We've got plenty of holiday specials for you this month. You can enjoy a 4-course wine dinner at the lounge at Final Cut. Plus, there's holiday takeout specials.
And we got happenings on New Year's Eve.
What's happening?
Winning. You could win a 2026 Chevy Traverse, $35,000 in cash, or $50,000 in Penn slot play.
Become a member of our rewards program on the Penn Play app and get a $20 dining credit.
It's all going down this month at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's better than giving a gift everyone wants? Getting free gas and groceries by earning perks on gift cards purchased at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Gecko. Choose from hundreds of gift cards to make everyone merry this holiday season from the biggest retailers and best brands, all while earning you free gas and groceries. Stop in our stores for bonus perk offers on gift cards. Give the gift everyone wants and get a little something for yourself, too. The holidays are magical at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Gecko.
In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
Before you buy a diamond, visit Diamond Seller, because not all jewelers are created equal. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Seller. For over 78 years, we've set the standard for craftsmanship, service, and value. Our in-house jewelers and gemologists work together to ensure every diamond is as brilliant as the person you love. All backed by our guaranteed best price. We don't just sell rings, we build relationships that last generations. So this holiday, before you say yes, make sure it's with the jeweler that's been trusted for over 7 decades. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
College football picks with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Krieger Ford. Find your next Ford at Krieger Ford. Visit KriegerFord.com today.
I just got the unofficial price tag of what it would cost to rename this station. How many millions? All right. Because if we wanted to rename it, 97.1 the Iceman or whatever we were going to call it. Because we were going to charge Maddie for this.
97.1 the Cannon.
After he wins the lottery, though. Yeah, but he's the only one who wins the lottery that's staying. You and I aren't staying. I don't think. Right? You win the lottery, you're not staying.
No, I'll start like a podcast or something.
There you go.
So you'd still be working a little bit.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be working here.
A little bit.
I'll do weekly hits.
Rename the station.
Yeah, I said I'd do
weekly hits.
3 days a week.
What would you charge us for that?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm in the building.
So I just got the unofficial number.
Okay. What do I need? What's going to cost me, AR?
Do you want to guess, TLC?
Okay, so the original guess that we just threw out there was $5 million.
That's what I said I would offer. That would be my
that's what he would offer, and I said it was low.
Okay. So we said that if ICE gets $1 billion post-tax, by the way.
Good point.
So $1 billion hits your bank account. You were offering 5, and we think that's low.
Yeah.
I'm going to go northward up to $15 million.
Okay. So if we signed a contract with Maddie over here for 20 years to rename this station for 20 years, it would cost him $40 million.
You would still have 960 left.
That's the unofficial from the brass. My sources.
Now it's 800% of what you were offering.
Adam Schefter sources.
40 M's, huh?
40 M's, and you get to call the station whatever you want
for 20 years.
Within reason.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
For 40 years, I mean, for 40 million,
years.
I need 40. I need 40 years. That's not. I'm not paying that.
Why would you want to? Here's the deal. Why would you want to link yourself to this industry for 40 years?
I just want to haunt.
It may not even exist
I want
in
my
40
name to
years.
haunt this place for as long as possible. That's what I want.
The ghost of Matty Ice Hayes.
Exactly. 40
right.
M's they are. I think I'd have to bow out. I'd bow out gracefully.
See, I would take it I would go less years. I wouldn't go more years. But I understand what you're saying. Matty Ice, he always here. All right, what do you got for us this weekend?
All righty, so let's start with tonight because, oddly enough, this game is basically deciding who goes to the playoffs between number 24 North Texas and number 22 Tulane. I think it's pretty lame to have conference championships at home fields, but that's what you get in the G5.
Yeah, the wave.
I agree.
Yet and still... No, I mean, they probably can't trust their fans to travel. But yet and still, even though this game is at Tulane's field, North Texas still a 2.5-point favorite.
Okay. Odd dynamic in this game, right? Both head coaches are going to be
gone.
Coaching elsewhere.
Yeah, they're there, but they're gone.
Right, they're coaching in this
Where
game.
is North Texas's coach going?
He is going to Oklahoma State.
That's right.
Okay.
So you'll have Summerall for Tulane going to Florida, and then you'll have Morris for North Texas going to
Eric Morris.
Oklahoma State to follow up Mike Gundy and his mullet. I'm completely with TLC on this. I love neutral site games for conference championship games. Like, I think it's going to be awesome to see all these other games played there, but I ain't going to complain too much about that. Tulane playing in there in its fourth straight American Conference Championship game. Both these quarterbacks are highly productive in this one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to lean AR into the home field advantage. And so give me those points and give me the green wave.
It's not a lot, right? The spread may not even come into play. This is almost a pick 'em. I'm with you on that. The Green Wave haven't lost a game at home this season. Like, I think that matters. And I like Drew Messmaker. I think he's a really, really good quarterback for the Mean Green. By the way, it's not easy being green. And in this game, there's going to be a lot of it. So I think, North Texas, I believe, has an edge in certain categories. I like them a lot. And they've been fairly elite in a lot of areas. The Tulane defense worries me. It does. This is a mental hedge. Bro and nephew, both green waivers.
There it is.
And they're going to want me to pick them, and I will do it for them. I'll lean into it, but I'm a little concerned about their defense against a quarterback that's thrown for almost 4,000 yards, and they've scored more than 50 points 7 times this year. Like, that worries me. But I'll lean into the fam.
I guess we got a celebrity guest picker on our hands, just picking whoever his friends want to pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how by the way, that's how I picked the Arizona game, and it worked out just fine.
The most important game that has ever been played.
That's right.
All right.
Most important game that's ever been discussed on this show.
Let's go to noon on Saturday from Jerry World, number 4, Texas Tech. It's hard to beat a team twice, but Texas Tech is 12.5-point favorites. 3-2-1. Texas Tech 12.5-point favorites against number 11 BYU.
Yeah, this is, and maybe more BYU fans will go to this. Maybe that'll make a difference. Texas Tech whacked the Cougs in Lubbock a month ago. I think it should have been worse. There were a lot of red zone chances for them to make it look worse. Now, Tech, they win, they get a bye. BYU's playing for their lives to get in. I just think the Red Raiders are too balanced. I'm a little surprised this went down a little bit. I thought this was like 13 or 13.5. And I like how much they can score. I think Tech certainly wants to play for the bye. Tough to beat a team twice, but probably not this one. It's rare that I would do this in kind of a game that's a winner-take-all kind of thing where BYU has to win, but I'm going to lay the 12.5.
So BYU, they're going to need their defense to play at a high level. I think if they're going to pull this one off. They did rack up 4 sacks in the first matchup in this one. But, man, it's still a young quarterback that BYU's rolling out there in Buckmeyer. And so this Texas Tech defense, led by Jacob Rodriguez, who just flies around and makes a whole bunch of tackles, that's where my comfort is in this. Tech's top 5 in the country in points allowed. And BYU had their lowest offensive totals all year in this game against the Red Raiders. So I'm going to roll with Texas Tech in this one.
RG3 said Jacob Rodriguez is his leader in the clubhouse for the Heisman, which I just cannot get down with.
Crazy work.
All right, so speaking of it's hard to beat a team twice, this actually favors Georgia. So Georgia's playing Alabama in Atlanta. Georgia favored by 2.5 points.
5th straight SEC title game for them dogs. Bama is 4-0, though, versus Georgia in SEC championship games. Both those coming into this game, man, with some performances. Both of them had less than 300 total yards in the game last week. So that, for me, don't love. And I don't trust really Alabama's run game to consistently get after Georgia. And so I think a sneaky thing to watch in this game for Georgia as well on their offense is they're going to be without their starting center. His last name is Bobo. So that's a guy that gets everything in order for them.
Bobo.
So give me the line again, TLC.
I got Georgia minus 2.5 in a rematch.
And this is in the A, where the players play.
Mm-hmm. Can Alabama beat Georgia twice in the state of Georgia? That's the question.
They can. I'm laying the 2.5. Give me them dogs.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Because he said, well, no, you said, can Bama beat Georgia? And he said they can. And then said, give me the dogs.
I meant to say can't.
I just assumed he meant to say can't.
You guys confused me, right?
I meant can't. Yeah, I'm laying the 2.5
I kind of knew
Georgia.
What you had meant. I just wanted to make sure you guys were all on the right page there. Maddie's right. Bama's won a lot of these lately. The game earlier this year was surprising to me because as much as I can't trust Bama's run game, I can't trust Georgia's run game either because Bama did a pretty good job against it in the first one. I got to take Georgia. I just think they'll get it together. Their passing game will be better in this game. They ran for 7 yards a carry in the first one. If the passing game comes along for the ride a little bit, they win the game. Yeah. So give me Georgia.
All right, number 17, Virginia, is a 4-point favorite against Duke. If Duke wins this one, look out.
Oh.
Craziness.
That things get weird.
Things get strange.
Weird and wild.
We're going to the upside down if they win this game.
The Dolly Madison Gems are feeling damn good at that point. So this is another one where I kind of look at it as, the Cavaliers won by 17 in Durham. They cracked them, 23 weeks ago? So what's changed? I haven't heard a lot of key injuries or anything. And the line again is what?
I got 4
for Virginia.
Seems small. Like, wow.
And Charlotte, home game for Duke.
Yeah, I just think
Charlotte's not that close.
Virginia knows they win, they go to the playoff. The line doesn't scare me that much. I'm going to lay it.
So the Dukies are the 5th power conference team in the history of the sport to make a conference title game with 5+ losses. That's nasty.
A lot of good wins, though.
Nasty work right there. Mensah's, he's pretty good for them. He's pretty good. Duke, they just need a massive.
Darian Mensah.
They need a monster run game from their offensive line and their running back unit. When they've run it 35 or more times, they're 5-0. When they don't, they are 2-5. A name to watch for Virginia. The former Buckeye Mitchell Melton been a good pass rusher for them, for UVA. He's second on the team in sacks. Virginia's just got 2 good units on both sides of the ball, top 3 in the ACC and O&D. I'm laying him and rolling with the Cavaliers.
All right, real quick, love and honor, the Harvard of the Midwest. We're going up to Ford Field. The Miami Redhawks are playing against Western 3-2-1, Western Michigan, and the Broncos are a 1.5-point favorite.
I had a good weekend partying one time at Miami, so I'm going to
love the fact you're going that route. Yep, celebrity guest pick.
Just going to go with that. It treated me well one weekend down.
Yeah.
What was her name?
This is a rematch.
It's actually one of the homies, but met some people.
This is a rematch of this game where Miami won. I think it's certainly tough to beat that team twice. So, and there were 17 fourth quarter points in this game. So give me the line one more time real fast.
1.5 Western.
Yeah, so it's nothing there. All right, let's celebrity guest picker this thing and lean into the OH. Take the Red Hawks.
There you
All right, we'll come back. What is Tim May's headline for Championship Saturday night in Indy? You'll find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
You have a chance to win a beautiful new custom home or cash prize this holiday season with a Home for the Holidays raffle. And help make wishes come true for Make-A-Wish Kids. One lucky winner will be announced on December 24th, so get your $100 ticket now. Just visit ahomefortheholidayscolumbus.org to buy your tickets. That's ahomefortheholidayscolumbus.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Make your list, check it twice, and shop smart this holiday season. Open a Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and add some jingle to your wallet with $150 cash back after your first $1,500 spent within 90 days. Apply at Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Offer ends 12/31/25.
Get your furnace fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
If your appliances can't handle the holiday hosting heat, December deal drops at Lowe's makes upgrading easy. Get up to 35% off select major appliances, and rewards members save an additional $40 on the Whirlpool electric range and the over-the-range microwave. Plus, get up to 60% off select ladders so you can deck all the halls. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/10. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Awards reserved.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $150 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$150 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. Want to know where I'm going to bet from now on? Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Toyotathon is on at Tansky Sawmill Toyota with inventory on the lot and fresh inventory rolling in daily. Now is the time to treat yourself before the holidays. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for Toyotathon specials or visit our festive showroom on the corner of Sawmill and 161 in Dublin. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
To say that we're excited about the Buckeyes playing Indiana for the Big Ten Championship would be an understatement. So we're giving you 11 hours of pregame. 11!
These go to 11.
It all begins Saturday morning at 9. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, he's our guy, Tim May. And he's from the Tim May Show as well, and from the Tailgate Show, and everywhere else. And from what I know, he is known in a lot of places, especially in one Nap City, because you and I both love Indianapolis, my man.
Yep.
All right. It's great to have you. Let me ask you this about this game. Because I think they both want to win. That'd be stupid to say that one team doesn't, right? I've heard people say, like, does it really matter to anybody? Where are you in that? Because I feel like the safety net that's built in for both these teams Saturday night allows this game to be even better than it could have been. Because I think both coaches could really swing for the fences. Not that they'll get crazy, but I love the feel that, in a weird way, I understand, Tim, and I know it's a long question, that if this was an elimination game, the intensity would be up. But the fact that it isn't also gives it some drama in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude, Indiana hadn't won the Big Ten since 1967. Ohio State hasn't been in the Big Ten championship game since 2020. We all know the longing that the 2024 Ohio State national champions will have forever is not getting a pair of gold pants and playing for the Big Ten championship, much less winning it. This game is huge. And on top of that, like you said, it's 1 versus 2. It's 12-0 versus 12-0. I'm living in the past there, right? 12-0 versus 12-0. And the Heisman Trophy is hanging in the balance. I truly believe that between Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sayed. So anybody that thinks both of these teams don't want to win in the worst way or the best way, I guess is a better way of putting it, I think they've got their head in the sand. In an ideal world now with the extended playoff, are you better off probably from a Jeopardy standpoint not playing this game? But let's just say it did go to a 16-team college football playoff in a year or two or something like that. My ideal world would be nobody had buys. So if nobody has buys, then I truly believe maybe the conference championships go away because if you win this game, and even if you lose this game close, I do believe both of these teams are getting a bye, they still got to win 3 games to win the national championship. So the jeopardy that goes into this is obvious to anybody. Anytime you strap on a helmet in football, you can get hurt. Edric Houston got hurt the first day of practice this year. So, but to not settle this, one of the iconic seasons in Big Ten history on the field, that would be a shame.
I agree.
So
well said.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
All right, let's lock in on the game, Tim. When you look at Indiana and their body of work all year, and you look at Ohio State and their body of work all year, if Ohio State is going to be hoisting up a trophy, if there's going to be some confetti in the air tomorrow night, that means Ohio State did what in Tim May's mind?
Ohio State will have outscored Indiana when whatever that entails. The main thing is Indiana's not played a team as good as Ohio State this year and vice versa, in my opinion. I think Indiana is quite legit. I think Ohio State is just a little better across the board in terms of football players, but we're talking about incremental degrees. But I just think it's going to come down. I think the better defense is going to play such an important role. I truly believe Ohio State's defense is one of those special defenses that don't come around very often. And I think Indiana's is good, but I think Ohio State is elite. And so that's, if I was looking at two teams, that's where I would put the major difference between them. In fact, you can call it that. But you got to take care of things. Indiana causes turnovers. As you say, talk about that. I've got it, on my podcast, Clay Hall and I just recorded. He's talking about, you got to watch your turnovers. He talks about how Indiana's really good at creating turnovers, and you got to move the ball. You got to do something with the ball when it's in your hands. So it's just so cool to see 2 big-time quarterbacks leading 2 big-time teams in a game of this magnitude.
I'm with you, and I think that, listen, Indiana, as you said, this is historic for them, so there's a little wait and see on whether they truly belong in this game for 4 quarters. I think that's fair, but maybe it's unfair based on we're just judging this team they're playing, not the historic Indiana. And they've answered the bell in a couple of big games this year at Penn State and certainly at Oregon. But this defense of Ohio State, has given up more than 200 passing yards one time this season. and that was against, I believe, Illinois. And a lot of that, the game was already decided to some degree. So if Ohio State's giving up like 120 passing yards a game against this Indiana offense, that's the game within the game for me, Tim, is can Indiana protect Mendoza enough for Indiana to make this a Heisman-type battle? Where are you on that as far as, like, how would you judge an individual award in a team game?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've said amen 3 times. I'm sitting way out here in the congregation. You didn't hear me.
Thanks, buddy.
But the bottom line is
the offering plate's on its way around.
Yeah, that's right.
So don't skip on that.
The tithe that binds. But
we like the kind of money that folds, by the way.
There you go, baby. My dad always wrote a check. I didn't know you could write a check for 48 cents. But anyway, I digress. Bottom line is Ohio State's defensive front four especially, led by Caden McDonald and and Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson, and Edric Houston and whoever else in Taiwan Malone. That is going to set such a stage for this, because if they can continue to play on the level they played these last many weeks, and let the linebackers, let Matt Patricia, play chess with the linebackers. What would you call those linebackers? The bishops on the board. If he can do that with Arvell Reese, obviously having that ridiculous game last week at Michigan, then it like I said, this is a conundrum that Indiana has not had to fully solve this year. With that said, you left out 2 games for them. They had that miraculous play near the end of the Iowa game that saved the game for them, and then of course Illinois, they destroyed Illinois. And Illinois was highly rated, and a lot of people thought it was going to be very good this year with Luke Altmaier, and they destroyed Illinois. They took a piece of Illinois' mojo with them, like Austin Powers. They've had some big-time wins, but they've also had some wins where you scratched your head like, well, okay, since Ohio State beat Texas 14-7, Ohio State's not been pushed in the corner by anybody, including Penn State, right? This team was pushed into the corner by Penn State, but they figured out a way to win with, Mendoza got the credit for it, but that was a hell of a catch at the back of the end zone.
All right.
Yeah, I'm as curious as you are to see what happens.
Holiday season has arrived. Christmas is right around the corner. Tim May, it's your time to shine. When Buckeye Nation wakes up on Sunday morning and they finish polishing off their hot chocolate pancakes and they say, wait a minute, I have not read what Tim May had to say about the Big Ten championship game that featured Indiana and Ohio State. What will your headline read?
I better get to it because we're running late on time here and stuff, acting like I haven't thought of something, right? How about this? Who's your daddy? ? Ohio State! ! Buckeyes grab first Big Ten title since COVID.
Works for me.
Okay.
Works for me.
My man.
I should have gotten something in there about the Heisman, but that'll take care of itself. That'll be a separate story on that front page.
Okay. We'll be looking forward to it, my man. We'll see you on the tailgate show tomorrow, buddy.
Just saying. That'll be the headline.
That's it.
All right.
Good job, bud. See you tomorrow, man. That is Tim May on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right. We come back top of the hour, and we'll give you an update on Penn State and their coaching hire. It looks like it's getting very close to actually happening. And then will the dream die or stay alive? We'll tell you what that means next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Everyone deserves a great car, regardless of credit. At Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall, we say yes to all credit types. Explore our selection, get financed in minutes, and own the road. Stop in today or visit us online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pat Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great cars, great deals, Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Columbus. Good. GLakesHyundai.com.
Last year, I remember running around Hollywood Casino, hugging and high-fiving everyone during the scoop and score. I remember dancing around the sportsbook during the Natty. I'm Scotty Vegas, and there's no place to watch a game, especially a championship game, like Hollywood Casino Columbus and the sportsbook. Let's watch together. Prizes, great food, amazing screens, a championship watch party Saturday night. Join the fans Saturday night, starting at 8. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you need a mini excavator or a not-so-mini excavator, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. With the largest rental fleet and hardest-working equipment experts in Columbus, we can help you take a big step toward a mini excavator in one of 17 different sizes, from 2,000 to 18,000-pound machines, with 6 to 24 feet of reach and 5 to 15 feet digging depth. Though in the most rental locations, and it's no wonder the Columbus builders who are building Columbus lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
If your appliances can't handle the holiday hosting heat, December deal drops at Lowe's makes upgrading easy. Get up to 35% off select major appliances, and rewards members save an additional $40 on the Whirlpool electric range and the over-the-range microwave. Plus, get up to 60% off select ladders so you can deck all the halls. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/10. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, USDA Choice T-Bone Steaks in the value pack are on sale for $9.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Limit 5. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Your credit doesn't define your ride. Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall approves all credit types, good, bad, or rebuilding. Get behind the wheel today. Call 614-861-7150 or apply online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. Modern day receiver Chris Henry Jr. announced he will sign with Ohio State. He's the top receiver in the 2026 cycle. His future program, Ohio State, faces number 2 Indiana in the Big Ten Championship Saturday at 8. Around the Big Ten, Penn State is working on finalizing a deal to make Matt Campbell its next head coach. The Massillon native 72 and 55 in 10 years at Ohio State. Soccer, the 2026 World Cup draws underway from Washington, D.C. Groups for the host sites, Mexico in Group A, Canada Group B, U.S. Group D. NFL Sunday, Browns host the Titans while the Bengals visit the Bills at 1. Cincy receiver T. Higgins cleared concussion protocol and is expected to return. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Get a holiday loan and choose loan amounts from $1,000 to $5,000. Visit BMIFCU.org/holiday loan for details. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. We'll get the IU side of this from our friend Zach Osterman of the Indy Star at 2:30 and find out really what we're dealing with here on that side. Because I will tell you this, I've heard a lot of people, when they talk about this game tomorrow night, say if there's a team that's going to get thrashed, it's going to be IU. Like, of course you would not hear it the reverse. You wouldn't. Like, I've not heard one person say
that's got to be rooted in history.
That's even a possibility of it going the other way.
You know what I think that is? I think that's people looking at the brand of Indiana and not believing that what we've seen the last 2 years has them ready to fight with the big boys, let alone maybe whoop up on a big boy.
Is last year's game when Indiana was top 5, I know different quarterback, different running backs, maybe not as balanced of a defense, although Indiana really botched the mental side of the game last year against Ohio State to kind of keep it close, the botched punt before the end of the half, some stuff that would have kept it a little more dramatic.
Right.
But I wonder if it's because we've seen this movie last year when they were touted as a top 5 team, even though you could make the case last year their schedule is what was holding them back for people to believe. Remember, they played nobody until Ohio State. They didn't have a ranked win.
Right.
Like there is a difference here, but every time I've heard this game be talked about the consequences of this game, it always leans to, well, as long as Indiana doesn't get blown out. Like, that's in people's minds. Because when Ohio State gets cooking in an aggressive game plan, in a game where a safety net is built in, and Ryan Day's already leaning into a little bit of a new version of him, which is I'm swinging big, then I'll situational coach. And then if I've got a punt on their side of the field, if I've got the game in hand, I can trust my defense. He's got a lot of options. That's my point. And so now I think you are who you are, and you can't just go, to the wall every time and just say, because if it doesn't work, then you kind of set the rhythm off. But that's why I love this game, is because it's not an elimination game. If it was an elimination game, would it be a lot more... There'd be nervous feeling? Of course it would be. Like, if you told Buckeye fan that this game meant, for some reason, both the winner gets in the playoff and the loser doesn't, then it's the game of all time. Then it's 1 versus 2 to get in the tournament. The fact that they're both going to get a bye, I realize that has taken luster off the game. Yeah. But I'll lean into what I said earlier. The drama of this game is the Indiana at bat that they never thought they'd get in the history of their program. Right? This is not an at-bat you would see. I wouldn't see. I never saw this truly coming, even when they hired Cignetti. And so you got to give it to them for that. And then the other thing is that the evidence we have of this year of them playing with the so-called big boy of Oregon on the road, that they held up. Now, Tim talked about them blasting Illinois. Illinois had a million defensive injuries, and they got a guy thrown out for targeting as well. Now, that thing snowballed, and to Indiana's credit, when they get teams down, they do bury them. Now, no one's burying Ohio State. And so that's what Indiana's fighting, Maddie, is that the common belief is if there's a team that gets buried, it would be them. And that makes a lot of sense based on all the NFLers and who Ohio State's been the last year and more. So that's why I kind of like this game.
Oh, yeah, man.
Is that both these coaches who now are leaning into who they are more than ever should be on display tomorrow night.
No doubt. And I like the part of it, too, where it's the winner of this game, a little psychological advantage of, hey, if we see you again, can you do it again?
Well, that's why Indiana can't drop to 4. That's got to be their goal.
Right. Yeah. And so, both these quarterbacks who are one of these guys is going to be the Heisman winner. These guys have been really efficient all year long. Indiana's defense has done a good job of taking the ball away. So that's something Julian's got to be on his 10 toes locked in down, because this guy, man, has been clean all year. But Indiana's 10th in the country or 9th in the country in interceptions this season. And so the back end of their defense has been flying around, and it pairs with what we were talking about earlier. And that's a really good pass rush up front. And so Phillip Daniels, that crew, they're going to have their hands full. But Julian has done a good job where there has been pressure in his face, sticking his foot in the ground and still delivering, or getting out of the pocket and making good throws on the run. So when he has had to handle pressure, and there hasn't been a ton of it, he's handled it pretty well for a year one quarterback. And just where he's at right now with his confidence, it's got to be through the roof after what he and the team accomplished up there in Ann Arbor, and especially how he got off the mat after that interception. And so can't also wait to see, AR, can Ohio State's offensive line move the defensive line for Indiana around? Tremendous job of that against Michigan, right? Bo Jackson and that crew ripping off some nice runs in that game. And so it's always a tough matchup when you're dealing with Ohio State's offense. But right now, where they are with their run game, does Michigan and their defensive staff feel like they have to pay more respect to that? And if you do, you know that can get you in a very, very tough spot with the playmakers that they have on the outside. So the run game for Ohio State rounding into form right now at this time of the year is critical for them, because there are some folks out there that, they beat up on Rutgers and UCLA and their bad defenses and run defenses, and that's legit. But what they did to Michigan should quiet all of that. So now that they've done that, do they feel like they need to put an extra man in the box, or are they going to come into the game and say, hey, we want to see that early against a defense that for us has really been lights out all year?
It's a cool game.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a cool game for a lot of reasons that we've stated, and then it's one where you go into it and you can just let it loose if you want. And you still want to win the game, still got to coach it that way. And then the other part of it is, if Ohio State were to get a lead in the fourth quarter and it's not in doubt, then you got to pull ripcord. Then you got to protect yourself.
What's not in doubt?
Well, if they're up, like I said, with 10 minutes to go, if they're up 3 scores, then all of a sudden it's – now, the Heisman hanging in the balance is something interesting when it comes to that. Because, listen – The tricky thing for people that watch Indiana is they see a Mendoza in the fourth quarter, and they don't know it's his brother. Like, that's the weird thing. If Lincoln goes in for Julian Sain, that would be a tough call for Ryan Day, because if the Heisman is, unless he feels like he's done enough in those 3.5 quarters, because if you're up by 3 scores, presumably it's because Sain had a great game. And that's why this will be very interesting tomorrow night. It looks like Matt Campbell is going to go to Penn State. ESPN is now reporting that the talks are finalizing and that he would finally be leaving Iowa State, and he's had opportunities to go there or to leave. And the difference, if you remember when Ohio State's like looking for a head coach, it's always like, oh, get somebody to beat Michigan. And like, it felt like that. With Penn State, it's, can you break through the AP top 5, the AP top 10? And Campbell has done that. Like, he has wins in that area. The one thing that's glaring missing from Penn State, and what he's done in Ames, a program that had no real history of winning consistently, so you got to give him that he transformed a program. And so I think the people with the accusation of, well, you should have just kept James Franklin if you're going to get Matt Campbell, like, that's not going to move the needle. And I was like, I don't know about that. I think you change the culture and you change the idea of what Penn State can be, then I'd be willing to roll the dice. His buyout at Iowa State's like $2 million.
Well, that's the thing that's odd for me, is that, well, yes, I can look at Matt Campbell being a pretty good head coach. This dude just signed an extension a few months ago through 2032 with Iowa State.
I thought I saw his buyout was only $2 million. Am I wrong?
But still, it's just the thought process of, man, like, you just signed a deal with them, and you're already blowing doors out of there to go to Penn State. And look, it's a level up, and I'm not going to knock anybody for leveling up in their lives. It's just strange to me that this is the world that we live in. And so I'm sure for those players, the players that he's recruited, the players that are already there, they're probably scrambling to figure out whatever they're going to do. That's kind of the crappy part about college football. But the players obviously have the option to do what they want to do with the portal as well. And so, yeah, I think this is if this becomes official, it's a pretty good hire for them. It's going to be an uphill climb because we talked to Howard Griffith earlier, and he said where the roster is right now, they're going to lose a bunch of experienced guys. And the guys that are there now, are they really going to want to lock in with Matt Campbell, the talented recruits that they've brought in that are in-house already? And so, yeah, when you look at guys like this, it's similar to what happened with Nebraska and Matt Rule. You looked at his track record with Temple, you looked at his track record with Baylor, and you think we get him here on a bigger platform with better resources, he can take our program to higher heights. Yet to be seen how good Matt Rule's going to be over there. It's been okay up there in Lincoln, and I think there's going to be a similar vibe for Matt Campbell because I just don't think it's going to happen right away for them, and I do think Penn State fans are going to have to be a little patient with him, and he's going to have to build this thing out the way that he wants to.
It's so weird that his buyout would be $2 million on a guy that finalized a contract through 2032.
Strange.
In August.
Yeah. I'm saying.
What is that about?
That's all I'm saying. I'm glad. I guess you're with me. It just feels weird. But that buyout, does that maybe take us inside his mind a little bit that he had one foot out the door? I don't know.
If I'm paying him that amount of money for that many years, I'm not allowing that. Like, I can't be leveraged like that. If I'm paying you $5+ million a year, which, by the way, that's the big part of this. I think he's getting paid, what, $5 million at Iowa State?
Yeah.
All right. So he might get close to doubling his salary by taking his job.
Yeah.
But letting him out for $2 million seems low.
Very low.
Yeah.
Very low.
But Penn State's willing to pay it. All right, we're going to come back, and a former NFLer calling out a current one. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Never have I been so excited to get a whiff of sweaty jock straps. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Yay, football, the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. It's cold here in Central Ohio. You know that, Columbus. And if you spent last winter thinking you need new windows, but you didn't want to spend the money, well, it's a good thing you waited. Because right now, during Window Nation's end-of-year sale, you can get 50% off. Plus, get 0% interest for 5 years. Not only could you get affordable custom windows, but shorter wait times mean you'll get them fast. And Window Nation will install them in one day while keeping your home warm and dry. Once they're installed, your new windows instantly stop those cold, wintry drafts better than the big-name brands. They also seal out moisture and are so energy efficient, you'll actually save money on your monthly utility bills. Plus, they're backed with a lifetime warranty. With such great windows and service, it's no wonder Window Nation has over 45,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Window Nation's end-of-year sale is your chance to save big with 50% off all window styles, plus 0% financing for 5 years. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com now to get started. Window Nation, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today. Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
If your appliances can't handle the holiday hosting heat, December deal drops at Lowe's makes upgrading easy. Get up to 35% off select major appliances, and rewards members save an additional $40 on the Whirlpool electric range and the over-the-range microwave. Plus, get up to 60% off select ladders so you can deck all the halls. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/10. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Awards reserved.
Come on, kids, we're going to Grandma's house.
Grandma's house! Grandma's house!
What do we do to be safe and ready to go? We buckle up.
Buckle up!
Phones down.
Thumbs down!
And when we go, take it slow. And if you drank,
Don't drive. And off we go.
ODOT, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, and the Ohio Traffic Safety Office are doing their part to keep roads safe. Do your part to make sure everyone makes it home safe for the holidays.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
It's Sunday Night Football on the Fan 2. Catch the Texans and Chiefs live from Arrowhead. Fan coverage starts Sunday at 7:30 on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, the Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's a chilly Friday out there as temperatures are warming up through the 20s into the lower 30s here for this afternoon. We'll see a partly cloudy sky with south winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Heading into the weekend, we're tracking cloudy skies and a few flurries around here for Saturday with highs into the upper 20s to lower 30s. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time, Ice.
Let's get on it. Bet365 is where you need to be, folks. And if you're a new customer at Bet365, all you're going to have to do is bet $5, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, so you could turn that $150 into something bigger and better when you bet on totals, spreads, money lines, or player props. Do not miss out on the Daily Boost and Super Boost over at Bet365. What do you got your eye on, Big Dog?
So I've been leaning this direction today, which is that both teams are going to take their chances tomorrow night. That I think the built-in safety net allows coaches to be even more aggressive than they would normally be. Both are probably getting a bye. They both want to win the game. And I just don't think it'll be coached tight.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't equal points.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But I feel like that is the name of the game. Now, you could counter that with, well, if Indiana's going to win, they have to run the ball. Like, they just can't put the whole game on Mendoza's shoulders. And so if that's the case and they do run the ball and they're successful, then that'll slow the game down a little bit. But indoor track, a lot of skill out there between Surratt and Becker and those guys, Cooper. Like, I think that there should be. I'm going to lean towards the over 47.
Okay.
And I think that's probably the way to play it if I'm in a 28-20 game and I've thought about a couple scores. We'll do it at the end of the game. But if I can get to that. Now, the key to this is Indiana hitting their floor, which I think their floor would probably be 14. It's just a floor they have to get to, even before the fourth quarter. Like, and 14's not winning the game, clearly. Like, they got it. They have not been held below 20 all year. So that's really their floor is 20, because I was the only team that's held them to that. So if I can get them to score 20, then I think I can hit this over.
Okay. I'm looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. They're welcoming in the San Antonio Spurs. Evan Mobley, not a big-time three-point sniper. However, he's on a little bit of a heater here. In 3 of the last 4 games, he's hit 3 threes in that contest. I like the juice for 2 threes today at plus 100. So playing it a little safe with Evan Mobley. 2 threes at plus 100 for the Cavs tonight, welcoming in the San Antonio Spurs. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only, must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
So I'll admit I certainly did watch some of the NFL game, but I was absolutely just locked on the Jackets game. That was the amount of power play goals they gave up to still win that game, to score when they had to take Elvis out of the net, to blow the lead again and be able to rescue it. Like, there was so much there. The shootout itself, Marchie's percentage in a shootout has been incredible. I think he's 9 of 13. He's cashed in the shootout.
We still got 5 on it?
We do. I'll update that when I can. I don't think the party is not that big for us there. But the fact that they wound up winning that game and being able to score with fans on when they had to empty their net to blow that, 3-1 lead and be down 5-4 and rescue it is massive. And so I was locked into that. So I didn't see what you guys were telling me happened with Pickens, your guy. You're telling me he was lollygagging it in a game that meant a ton?
According to your boy, Richard Sherman, that's what he saw yesterday. He was not happy at all with the former Georgia Bulldogs' performance and had this to say after the game.
I'm warning you, the audio isn't great, but the content within the audio is great.
The big story here is George Pickens. George Pickens throughout the game, especially late in the game, just looked uninterested in playing football. And that's what you can't have. If you're going to be a superstar, if you want to be the best receiver in the National Football League, you can never be disengaged. It doesn't matter if the game's going your way or not going your way. You can't just disappear in these games or else you're not going to have impact. And just right here, cruising routes. You're the guy. CD Lamb is not in this game. He's out. And you get intercepted on your slant routes. And you can't beat the guy and half-ass it. And I'm sorry, that's just, you can't, it's unacceptable. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're looking at him and you're looking to pay him big-time receiver money, $40 million, you got to look at this tape and say, hey, is this a guy we can trust paying $40 million to show up regardless of circumstance? I don't know.
It's a red flag.
Dodge the bullet.
This is
victory.
This has followed him from Pittsburgh, and he has done a great job at rewriting his narrative. I don't like the fact, if this was noticed, that because disappearing and being disinterested to me are maybe a little bit different. So
yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not going to sit here and dance on Pickens' grave for just one game, and something that Richard Sherman didn't like personally when his body of work all year long has been tremendous, and he's been arguably the second best receiver in the sport this year. I'm going to give him some grace for that. You're right to bring up there's been some stuff that people haven't liked, but haven't heard much of that at all this year. So I don't want to have a crazy knee-jerk reaction to one game and maybe a couple routes that Richard Sherman didn't like. Now, the financial part of it is maybe a tough decision because they have committed a bunch of coin to CD Lamb and to Dak Prescott, but it's worked for them at a high level, and these type of talents don't come around very often at this age. And so you would commit to a guy at a high dollar figure, yes, but you would get that guy in his prime. And I think Dak, too, feels comfortable with him, and he's been very productive for him all year long. And so, yeah, it was a bad game for him, but we haven't been talking about this all year, so I don't want to freak out too much about it.
So I'm watching the highlight of Dallas down 14 with 2 minutes to go with the ball. And there's a deep shot that Dak takes that lands at the 20, and Pickens doesn't fight through the defender at all to even make an attempt at drawing a flag or getting to the ball. And I do think he would have drawn a flag there for PI if he because that DB doesn't have his head turned around. This is where he has some explaining to do on trying to get to that ball. It does look weird to me now. That specific play. I don't know if he wasn't feeling it or I don't know what, but that he looked like he was into that's a practice jog plus. It wasn't one of those, I got to get this ball. My team's down 14. I got to be the hero. And it didn't look like that. As far as the big game this weekend between the Bengals and the Bills, Al Golden, let's see it. Let's see it. All of a sudden, the defense looks a little better. And can you get Buffalo off the field? Can you defend Cook? And it's not like they've got a ton of weapons outside of him. And don't let Josh beat you with his legs. And, this is the game. And then with Chase Brown coming back, this is a different battle. The Bengals have a 7% chance to make the playoffs. If you look at the analytics, I'll check what Las Vegas says about that. But if they win this game, this is the game that buries them, right? They got to win out. But if this is the one that not only if you win it, you stay alive. If you beat Buffalo in Buffalo, they're there's a whole different vibe because Buffalo's fighting for their lives too.
100%. And the defense, as you mentioned, they've been throwing out some speed bumps for these other offenses. It was just a clean runway to the end zone for the majority, all of last year and then a lot of this year. But they figured something else out, got some confidence coming out of that Baltimore game, not only because Joey B is back, but also what they were able to do. They allowed just 14 points in that game. And our boy Paul Dehner Jr. reported today, AR, that T. Higgins has cleared concussion protocol. So he's going to be ready to go. Trey Hendrickson is just out of sight, out of mind at this point. But the defense is catching Josh Allen at the right time. Well, yes, you're right to talk about how lethal that guy's is with his legs. He has not been protecting the rock over the last 4 games. He's got 6 interceptions over his last 4. So if I'm Zach Taylor, I'm looking at this Bills run defense, and I'm like, let's try to control this game as much as we can because Chase Brown is rocking and rolling with 284 rushing yards over his last 3 games. And so that's what I think. That's how I think the Bengals can carve out a path to victory, is if the run game can do their part, because teams from the first game of the year in that Baltimore game have been taking advantage of this Bills run D.
All right, real fast, we take $100 soft-earned dollars out of the Rothman and I Sludge Fund here, and we put it on the Bengals to make the playoffs. What are we getting back? $100. What do we win? Now, what are we getting back? What would we profit?
Can I get back 500?
I was going to say 650, but that felt low on my end, too. 850.
We'd get back exactly 850.
850.
Now, what would we get if we bet $100 for them not to make the playoffs? How much would we profit?
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
So we're taking that same Hyundai and we're saying they're not going to make it.
It's guaranteed to be less than $10 and probably way less.
$4?
He says 4. No Price is Right rules.
$6.50.
6.25.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Good call, TLC.
Good segment for me.
$6.25. Probably not worth making that bet.
Yep.
Come back in 2 minutes. And the one tomorrow night, Zach Osterman of the Indy Star. What are the Hoosiers bringing to the table in perhaps the most important game in their program history? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Last year, I remember running around Hollywood Casino, hugging and high-fiving everyone during the Scoop and Score. I remember dancing around the sportsbook during the Natty. I'm Scotty Vegas, and there's no place to watch a game, especially a championship game, like Hollywood Casino Columbus and the sportsbook. Let's watch together. Prizes, great food, amazing screens, a championship watch party Saturday night. Join the Fan Saturday night, starting at 8. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Toyotathon is on at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. With inventory on the lot and fresh inventory rolling in daily, now is the time to treat yourself before the holidays. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for Toyotathon specials, or visit our festive showroom on the corner of Sawmill and 161 in Dublin. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Relationship benefits at KeyBank reward you for things you were going to do anyway, like using your KeyBank checking account 5 times each month. You could unlock higher interest rates, more cash back, and loan discounts. Now, imagine getting rewarded for other things you were going to do anyway, like high-fiving.
Yes.
Calling your mom.
Hello.
Or petting cute dogs. If only. Learn how simple it is to get benefits when opening a checking account at key.com/relationship. KeyBank opens doors. All credit products subject to credit approval. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Big Game Preview.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company. We love what moves you.
All right, Ohio State, IU tomorrow night. Still have a spread of 4. So it's crazy close right now as far as what Las Vegas says. And they're a lot of times right. Now, could this be a one-score game in the fourth quarter and then Ohio State gets one and it looks worse than it is? That's kind of the way I'm feeling that it plays out that way. That when push comes to shove, the championship medal of Ohio State will show itself versus an Indiana team that, while they're not a little nothing anymore, that what would happen to them if they're in a close game? Now, the answer to that is we have evidence of it. Indiana's been in a couple close games.
2 times.
3 of them.
Yeah, 3 times.
Iowa,
yeah.
Penn State, Oregon.
Yeah.
And they've always come out on top. Now, those teams weren't Ohio State, but they were serious tests because that's
Oregon's
the one
a
thing
top
with
10
Indiana.
team in the country, man. That's
on the road in a
legit.
place where Ohio State knows very well that place can be big time. And Indiana did not crack them, but they were great when it counted the most. And so that's what I've always looked at the difference between this Indiana team, because we've seen Indiana offenses be good over the last several years.
Yeah.
But their defense, somehow, you just couldn't count on them. And I think that's the issue tomorrow, is whether those guys can cover Ohio State indoors, no weather. That's why I think it's so important for Indiana to try to get pressure on Sane, which nobody truly has done this year. And when they do, he burns you.
Yeah.
Like, he's been that guy. So that's probably the difference in the game, unless Indiana can keep them off the field and limit their at-bats. But, boy, it's to throw against Ohio State. IGB's always been the targeted guy because of his propensity to hold. And Michigan tried a little bit against him, and he came up big and then had the pick at the end. So he's playing with a lot of confidence. But between Cooper and Surratt and the tight end and everything else, the back shoulder throws that Mendoza likes to do, then all of a sudden, Indiana feels they're in this ball game.
As they should, man. They should come into this thing very, very confident with their body of work, because when you do some of the things that they've done in the venues that they've done them in, and look, I know Penn State's been down this year, but that is a tough, tough place to play, and they had to gut it out at the very end, and they got it done.
All right, Zach Osterman, who covers the IU Hoosiers for the Indy Star, jumps on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. Zach, biggest game that you have ever covered in kind of when you think about Indiana?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably either that or the playoff game last year, and you know, I mean, I guess pick your poison on what's more important, because I recognize that neither of these teams is going to lose a whole heck of a lot in all likelihood, in terms of sort of long-term outcomes this weekend. But Indiana hasn't won a Big Ten championship, they haven't won a Big Ten championship since 1967. They've never been number one in the country. So, certainly in terms of what there is to gain for Indiana, it's probably at the top of the list.
So let's lock in on some of the guys we're going to see in action and some of the guys we've been watching all year. We got to start with Fernando Mendoza, an absolutely incredible year, but just covering this guy all the time, watching him come in from Cal and do the things that he's done. Zach, just talk about his development throughout the year and how he's gotten to be the Heisman leader right now, according to Vegas.
Yeah, So as you talk about, he came in from Cal. Obviously, his brother was already here. His younger brother, Alberto's a redshirt freshman, and it's his backup. And I think at times people have seen Alberto doing things in the fourth quarter of blowouts, thinking Indiana was padding Fernando's stats. But I think the thing that has elevated, and this is no knock on Curtis Rourke. I mean, it's hard to kind of have this conversation without feeling like you are somehow criticizing Curtis Rourke, and that's not really what it is. Number one, Mendoza's a lot more mobile. Now, we didn't know until after last season was over that Rourke had been playing on the torn ACL. But I think Mendoza, both in the pocket in terms of maybe, shifting away from the pass rush, moving the pocket, throwing on the run, and then also when things open up for him, just tucking the ball and getting downfield, Mendoza's a lot more mobile. I think he's got, better sort of downfield accuracy. He is just, I don't mean to oversimplify it, but it is kind of the difference between a 7th-round pick and a first-round pick. They're both really good college quarterbacks, and there was probably, in fairness, a little bit more of a little bit higher of a floor of a consistency with Rourke. That what he did really well, and obviously he was a 6th-year player, so there was just so much time on task, so much experience and repetition. But I think Mendoza certainly has the higher ceiling in terms of some of the throws he can make, some of the plays he can make. I know the numbers, and there probably are a handful of different reasons for this, both literal and philosophical. The numbers, like a lot of other Heisman candidates, aren't quite maybe what we've come to expect from Heisman Trophy winners in sort of the recent past. But if you watch him play, the plays that he makes, and some of the stuff that he makes, just kind of look effortless throwing the football. It's not hard to understand why he's had the season he's had and why he's, garnering both the award attention and also draft attention that he is.
All right, Zach, let me get to the game that I think really is going to be the difference maker. And that's if the Indiana defensive backs and secondary can hold up for 4 quarters against Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and Max Clare, and especially Julian Sain. So they did a really good job against Altmaier this year in Illinois, Dante Moore of Oregon. Those guys didn't light them up. In fact, they were both under 200, and Altmaier was well under 200. But Grunkmeyer was over 200, and Aiden Childs was in the mid-200s. Your confidence in this Indiana secondary to match up against Julian Sain, what Ohio State's bringing to the table tomorrow night?
I think a lot of it, for me, comes down to Indiana likes to play D'Angelo Pons in man coverage wherever he is. Not all the time, but fairly consistently. Pons gets to play press man coverage. They don't necessarily chase one matchup with him. Like they're not going to run him all over the field just trying to find Jeremiah Smith every single down. If he's lined up against Carnell Tate, they'll live with that. If he's lined up against Ennis, they'll live with that. But what makes their defense work is that they can trust him to just win his one-on-one matchup so consistently that they're able to kind of put everybody else into some really sort of multiple, creative, well-disguised zones. They'll play a little bit of everything. I mean, other than, I guess, maybe cover one, but they'll play 2, they'll play 3, they'll play 6, they'll play 9. And they can do that. And these two things, of course, dovetail, pretty directly. They can do that because they tend to be able to generate a pass rush with just 4, maybe 5. And so when Pons is consistently winning his one-on-one matchup and they are generating some pressure, maybe bringing just 4, maybe 1 extra sometimes, that allows them to just sort of build these really clever, creative zone looks that just really throw quarterbacks off and confuse quarterbacks because they're really good at disguising certain stuff. They are really good at, I think they're second in the conference behind Maryland in team interceptions this season. They are really good at reading both pre and post snap what an offense is trying to do, what a quarterback's trying to do. And if that pressure gets home, because that, you mentioned maybe the quarterbacks that have not had success with them, they sacked Altmaier 5 or 6 times. They sacked Dante Moore 6 times. And that is kind of the constant, is if they can get that pressure home without having to add extra bodies in the pass rush, and Pons can go win his one-on-one matchup on the outside, which he's been consistently able to do this season, then they are able to be really creative with the other 6 players on the field in coverage. And it's what has, sort of created a lot of these big plays and a lot of these just sort of, frankly, very bland afternoons from opposing quarterbacks.
All right, let's flip it to the other side for Indiana and lock in on their wide receiver duo and Omar Cooper Jr. and Elijah Surratt, and just talk to us about how those guys mesh together well and just the roles they have within this offense right now.
So Surratt is healthy. He missed, what would it have been, about 3 games with some kind of hamstring, and then there was something else that Kurt Cignetti never really sort of elaborated on. He was back for the Purdue game. He looked fine. Indiana didn't throw a ton in that game because it was freezing cold, and frankly, they didn't need to anyway. Surratt is the better sort of pure possession wide receiver. He is the player that Mendoza will go to, for just kind of that easy timing completion. He gets Mendoza's first target of the game a lot, not always, but a lot. He's incredibly crisp with his routes. He's exceptionally difficult to cover one-on-one because he's really good high pointing the ball. He's got great hands. Cooper is maybe a little bit more mercurial in terms of his week-to-week production. But when he's on, he's the more explosive player. He's also the shiftier player. I think he's broken something like 25 tackles this season. I forget what the exact number is. But he's got a lot of catch and run in. Surratt does too if you kind of just get him in open space, like the touchdown that people may have seen him score against Iowa, where he just slips underneath the defender in single coverage and breaks free. But Cooper's got shiftiness. He's he's better in like Mendoza had a touchdown pass against Purdue that he badly underthrew. Cooper came back for it, caught it, and then dropped two different defensive backs to sort of break away to the end zone. And that it's also worth pointing out Cooper plays in the slot most of the time. We don't know if EJ Williams will be healthy. He's their second boundary receiver, really big-bodied guy. Was at Clemson, transferred to Indiana a couple years ago. This is the best season of his career. He sat out the Purdue game. I mean, he is I'm not damning him with faint praise because he's a very good third receiver. Like he just, he doesn't drop the ball. He runs good routes. He's tough along the sideline. And if you leave him in single coverage, he's 6'4". He's got a size advantage that the other two don't have. So Mendoza will use him when he needs to. I think it was Wisconsin maybe that doubled both Cooper and Surratt, or they doubled Cooper and Surratt was injured actually, and EJ Williams went for like 105 yards and a touchdown. So he is capable as well. And I think what makes that trio work is they're all something a little bit different as wide receivers, and that gives Indiana a lot of flexibility in the way they use those guys.
Well, they've certainly lit up the highlight screen this year in some big moments, and maybe there'll be some more and some fireworks in Indy Saturday night. Zach, great job, bud. Thanks for the breakdown, and enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Zach Osterman, Indy Star on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. Final score predictions and tell the truth. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Columbus. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Skyline's Mac and Cheese 3-Way is back. This time with white cheddar cheese and creamy cavatappi pasta. Try a Mac and Cheese 3-Way with Skyline's original chili or their new chicken chili at participating Skyline locations for a limited time.
Diamond Sellers bringing the world's finest jewelry to you at our annual holiday gala December 4th through December 6th. Celebrate the season of sparkle with up to 25% off for 1 weekend only at our Sawmill Road and Easton locations. Visit diamondseller.com/gala to learn more.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My furnace is still heating, but something's not quite right. Seems it's working awfully hard, but I'm so cold at night.
Let us have a look. We'll figure out what's wrong. We'll recommend the best plan to get it running strong.
Get a free diagnostic furnace check with repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Millions of fans agree this Christmas tradition rocks. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting The Ghost of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. December 23rd, 2 shows, Nationwide Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. A portion of the proceeds benefits the James and Heather Pick Music Program.
It's the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. So don't just hang your own lights. Look for the Northern Lights. Drink cocoa on the beach. Or be a drive-by karaoke caroler. Because every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. So you can take holidays to places they've never been with a capable Kia SUV. And right now, get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of specially tagged new 2025 Telluride, Sorrento, and Sportage models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 60 months from Kia Finance. Subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2025 Telluride, Sorrento, and Sportage. $1,705 per month for $1,000 financed at 60 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 1/2/26. Offers may not be combined except where specified. Subject to dealer participation and vehicle availability. See Kia dealer for details.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle. Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score.
Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up, you get early payout on parlays too. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. An app only.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
It's playoff time. Who will the Buckeyes play? Where will they play? Let's find out together. Join Tom Taberi, Timmy Hall, Nicole Sheeran, and Dean Sanzenbacher for Chasing the Championship.
Sunday at noon on 10 TV Plus and the Fan's YouTube. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Right now, get 50% off all window styles from Window Nation at windownation.com.
All right, I think before we get into truth, I finally saw the definition of yours, Gen Z?
Gen Z.
Okay.
Oh.
The Zoomers, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I witnessed TLC using his phone as a mirror today. That he must have put the camera on and reversed it and then was able to kind of fix himself up, the hair and everything, with using the phone.
Selfie cam?
And I feel like that's a nice Gen Z move. Like, am I wrong?
I was fluffing the hair out. I will say.
Have you ever used your phone as a mirror?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Plenty of times.
Right.
Yeah, I have.
Because Jackson Dart was just kind of under fire for this exact same thing on social media where he was at the podium at a post-game press conference and he's being asked a question and he's spending 15 seconds fluffing his own hair out. I kind of looked like him in that moment.
Okay. The fluffers.
Okay, yeah, some selfies to send out, TLC. Is that what it had some selfies to send
I'm just making sure the hair.
I don't think he took a picture. I think he was just using it as.
I was going to, but then you were right next to me, and I'm like, I can't have Rothman catch me selfie. I got to wait till he goes away.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to also add a selfie to it. I thought you were just using it as
that was the initial intent.
Oh.
And then when you were there, I'm like, I can't be selfieing right next to somebody.
Why not?
That's a private matter.
What was the selfie for? Where's
Snapchat.
Oh, okay.
So I was using the Snapchat camera.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now
we're getting nowhere.
Somebody got a nice little selfie of TLC.
So I'm playing it off to Rothman. I'm like, oh man, I'm just checking my hair, making sure I'm okay.
What was
that was the bluff.
So the mirror was the bluff.
That was the bluff.
Okay.
He was trying to throw you off the scent.
By the way, I wasn't trying to.
No,
look over your shoulder.
I know.
Okay.
TLC, did you get a selfie that kicked off this thing? Like, is that what got you started? Somebody sent you a selfie this morning. You felt like you had to respond.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, but it's back and forth.
Okay, listen.
It takes two to tango.
Listen, look. Do you play?
So I'm just as guilty of selfieing, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Do you know what backwards and front? All right. Well done.
Thank you. Well, wait. Well, what does well done mean?
Just you admitted it, and you leaned into it, and
that can mean multiple things right now.
Your presence alone, AR, got him to go to a mirror.
I'm kind of taking that. Like I almost feel like we should be closer than that. Like he should not have tried to hide that. Like I wouldn't have had any. Like I wouldn't have.
I would have done it to anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd be like, oh man, I can't have someone busting me selfieing right now.
Let me illustrate to you guys the struggle in predicting this game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the knowing that Indiana's good and that they're balanced and that they're not this team that doesn't believe or crumbles in the fourth quarter. And then I have to come to the realization that I've told you guys that Indiana football goes into this Big Ten championship game with 8 starters who came out of high school with 0 stars. 0 in their ratings. 8 starters. And then Ohio State is starting 4 former 5 stars and 6 other top 100 players. That the NFL version that they're going to go up against is real. That's the struggle. It's the struggle in knowing that you don't have to have stars to believe you can be good. And that's what Indiana's bringing to the table on Saturday night. The fact that Las Vegas says it's a 4-point spread means something because they're not usually crazy wrong. They can be. And if this is a 4-point game in the fourth quarter and Ohio State scores to win by 11, would anybody be surprised? No. I told you there's a little bit of a roulette window that I was looking at on Bet365 that I would be willing to invest and cover the 2 windows that Ohio State wins either between 7 and 12 points or 13 and 18. That way you have an 11-point window covered and you have a chance of winning a minimum of, if you put 100 on each, you'd win a minimum of 275 if Ohio State lands in the 7 to 18 window. That seems like a fun little chance for me.
Yeah, I like that.
And I've written down a couple different scores, and I keep coming back to it. If Indiana's going to stay in this game, they have to score 20. Like, that's their floor. They've got to hit it somehow with a couple touchdowns and 2 field goals. I also go into it thinking that Ohio State, at some point or another, is going to kick a field goal. Like, I don't know if Ryan's going to go for it on every 4th down in the red zone. It might line up for him to do it. And he might be willing to do it because I keep coming back to
they're getting the bye.
Go for it.
They're getting the bye.
It's all there. Yeah. But he wants to add to his hardware season. This is not a throwaway game. It's not. It's one that they're playing for a trophy of their conference. They're going to bring it. But it also helps him call it so much more aggressively. And he's already leaning that way anyway. So I've had a couple scores written down all day, and I'm going to go with the one that I just said, which is that Ohio State at some point will kick a field goal, and that Indiana's going to be held to a couple field goals at some point.
What do you got?
I have Ohio State 31-20.
Okay. So covering by doubling the cover pretty much.
But it's a fourth quarter cover.
Okay.
It's not they're up, 28-3, and then all of a sudden there's some garbage.
I got a lot of respect for Indiana's defense, especially that front 7 and that D-line with what they've been able to do. And a guy like Kamara is a name to watch. He's got 1 sack on the year, but leads the team in pressures. My confidence, though, lies in the Buckeye defense as it has all year long. But this playmaking core that Ohio State has right now, led by Julian Sain at the quarterback position, I just think in time, Ohio State will pop off a couple big-time plays. And just the back end of that defense hasn't seen the pop that they're about to see tomorrow, and especially now that we know Carnell Tate is healthy and we saw the big play he had against Michigan. So clock hits 000 tomorrow night over there in Indy. I got Buckeyes winning 27-21.
Okay.
Coming back to the city with a Big Ten championship.
That'd be a fun game.
Yep.
That gives respect to the defenses, but also keeps it close.
Real quick, odds have been released on what Notre Dame and Miami's spread would be on a neutral field.
Okay.
Guess it.
Notre Dame by 3.
Notre Dame by 5.5.
Ding, 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 Anthony Rothman.
And I am looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about out of time.
It's a good call. Hey, before we go, just a reminder, you missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 is waiting right there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Bet365 is the sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Don't move. Common Man and Timmy coming up next. They'll continue to get you ready for Hoosiers and Buckeyes.
And just keep it locked here all weekend because it's all day, all damn night tomorrow night. Enjoy. We'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks for listening. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL.